and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me, drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. Left me in this mess, I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer.
Hello. Yeah, super. We're ready. We are ready to go. Okay. Okay.
Watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me. Drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to. watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me, drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Couldn't get any closer. Tried to forget all that we had. I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me. So close to the edge.
Radiant team ban.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dire
welcome back
Team
to
Ban.
New Gamers Arena Lahore Qualifier Semi-Finals. You're watching Survey Corps versus S Alliance. My name is Floki, and joining me for this one is going to be Vivek. How's it going, buddy?
It is going well. I mean, this has been a month for Pakistani Dota with them kicking off to a really wonderful start in the qualifier number 1 for WSG for the South and
Radiant
West
team
Asia
ban.
region. Their games versus Prometheus especially played some really good games. They're going neck and neck with Portal, who I believe are also playing the Lahore qualifier. Prometheus, I believe, fall under a different region. But yeah, I'm pumped to see what S Alliance and Survey Corps are all about. My exposure to Pakistani Dota might
Dire
be somewhat
team
limited,
ban.
but I'm a big fan of Prometheus and the kind of Dota they play. Even Aeon from Portal, one of the most individually skilled players that I've seen in a really long time. And Haste, another up-and-coming team that I've had the fun of, or rather the pleasure of casting. The draft,
Radiant
now
team
certain
ban.
aspects of this draft might go over our heads because these teams, I'm sure they've scrimmed each other internally. They played each other in a lot of local tournaments, so a lot of these bans might be targeted or player specific, such as a first phase Invoker ban.
Yeah, that's not what you see very often.
Yeah, the Brewmaster somewhat maybe understandable,
Dire
but
team
yeah,
ban.
again, first phase tablet, it's either a player specific ban or just Survey Corps deeming the hero to be too unbalanced in this meta.
I think it's just that there's no better hero than TB in this meta, which you can pick right away in the first phase. When you think about it, TB is actually the one of the few heroes who can A, do well in lane, 2, push early on, 3, retreat to the
10
jungle, and
Radiant's
4, play
remaining
for the late
pick.
game. Terrorblade is just one of those few golden carries that satisfies all those criterias, and I think
And
that's
he's
why
hard to bring down.
Yeah, he's very hard to bring down, of course. So he fits all those criterias, and as a result, he's hotly contested, and no doubt about it. No wonder we see so much Terrorblade in the highest
Dire
tiers
team
of Dota.
pick.
I mean, he's often picked in the first phase, banned in the first phase is not something I've seen a lot,
Yeah.
but I think it makes a lot of sense to just ban out that hero. And Survey Corps, they're going to pick up the Earthshaker. Personally, I felt that there was one hero that always came back into the meta sometime
Dire
around
team
DI,
pick.
and there are two heroes that fall under that bracket for me: the Nature's Prophet and the Batrider. I think Earthshaker is also going to fit into that bucket. We didn't see much play from him during the DPC season, post TI7, but come TI8, everybody wanted the Earthshaker. I
Yeah.
think even Yapso went as far as saying that whichever team has the Earthshaker win the grand final.
Yeah.
OG
10
proved him wrong though.
seconds Radiant team
They
pick.
won games without the Earthshaker. But yeah, S Alliance are going to pick up the Necroforce and the Undying, so you got that Tombstone.
Super
It's-
dirty laning combination.
It is a very disgusting set of heroes to play against. You got the slow coming up from the Ghost Shroud, the slow from the zombies as well. If nothing else, your machine will frame because there are 5,000 zombies just running at you.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
yeah, it's just two disgusting heroes to play against. And what the Undying
5
does
seconds
is
remaining.
he's somewhat a discount ogre in the sense that he gets to just throw his body, offers a lot of harass in the laning phase, can just keep maybe a support and a core occupied while his own ally core keeps farming away. And what Survey Cops need is, well, an answer to the Tombstone. Plenty of those are there. I don't know if they're going to go something as drastic as picking up the PL this early on. PL with his illusions, all those illusions do count as hits onto the Tombstone, and he can deal with the Tombstone. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch. Is there anything they want to run versus this Necroforce? Is there anything in particular that that like to pick up to just deal with that hero? Some teams like to pick up the Lina. Maybe even the Pugna if they want to go down that route. But maybe Survey Cops just play this a little wise, pick up their next support
Radiant team
that can give them a fighting chance versus the Undying. And they believe it's going
Dire
to be the
team
Dark Will.
ban.
Yep, not too bad of a pick against Necroforce. It's mostly magical damage. Also, add in the fact that Muraska doesn't really mind picking up a Spirit Vessel, and all of a sudden you're
Radiant
nullifying the
team
effectiveness of
ban.
Necroforce and Undying in a team fight. Because sure, Undying offers a lot of fields, and so does the Necroforce. But if you just drop a Spirit Vessel on the hero you're focusing, suddenly that hero is not really going
Dire
to be
team
that
ban.
tanky in a team fight, courtesy of the Soul Rip and the Death Pulse from the Necroforce. So I like this Muraska pickup just for the fact that it can build an early earn and even a first item Spirit Vessel if needed while outputting a great amount of magical damage. The question, however, is going to be if this Muraska is going to get that damage in team fights. She might be a bit too squishy for it because when you think about it, an Undying throwing out DKs
Dire
and
team
Necroforce
pick.
throwing out Death Pulses every now and then is not really something that you have a good time surviving against.
What the hell is that Disruptor ban?
Uh,
I mean, the only way this makes sense to me is that somebody's thinking you pick up an Underlord and you want Dark Recon. I think this is okay. So
maybe they intended to pick Disruptor. They forgot that this was a banning phase.
it's
10
just odd.
seconds
I mean,
remaining. Radiant team pick.
Silencer.
And what's the Disruptor good against? Are they looking at something like a Storm Spirit, something like an Ember?
We have casted a mid Disruptor game, by the way, if you remember.
Yeah, that was a one-off. I don't know if that's spread to the rest of the world, but yeah, they're going to ban out the Disruptor. It's a little strange. I'm just trying to see what
10
aspect of
seconds remaining.
S-Alliance's draft it really does well against. Maybe as the draft
5
progresses, we might
seconds
find
remaining.
an answer to that. The Monkey King ban is also a little interesting. One thing I noticed when I was casting Prometheus and Portal a fair bit is that they value their melee offlaner having a good time, which is why I saw a lot of Monkey King as well as the Ursa being banned out. The Ursa is still in the pool, but yeah, that's my read of that Monkey King ban. Next pick up here for Survey Cops. This is where they have to start giving away their draft.
Dire
Personally,
team
something
pick.
like a Tiny isn't too bad, but yeah, they pick up the Ursa. I mean, I've told you this. I've seen them really value the Ursa and the Monkey King. So this is going to make S-Alliance think a little bit about what they want to run in the offlane. But they've got a flex pick, if that's what you want to call it, in the form of the Necroforce, who can be put in any one of the three lanes as a core.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of
10
the key options
seconds
that Necroforce
remaining.
opens up as a pick, which is why it's so good to pick him up early on, and a lot of teams prioritize
5
banning him
seconds
out in the first
remaining.
phase itself. Just the amount of versatility a hero can offer you in terms of what lane he can be put in and how many heroes he can do well against in that particular lane adds to the value of a hero, even if that hero may be very unidimensional and has just like one very easy solution to be dealt with. It's just the fact that, yeah, but you don't know which lane that hero is going to do. You don't know which hero he's going to be facing up against. So if he has a good time, all of a sudden, sure, you may have an item to counter him, but he has an item to counter you, and just the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Fourth pick for S-Alliance, though, they need to reveal a second core of theirs. They have picked two heroes so far, two supports who offer no disable. The third one's going to offer them something good. Like, this has to be either a hero that allows them to push early or a hero that has a decent amount of disable. And they've banned out the Shadow Shaman, by the way, so I don't see a position 3 Shadow Shaman and Shadow Shaman happening anytime soon, even if it was something that S-Alliance considered.
Okay. I mean, hero that allows them to push and provides lockdown.
Yeah, or provide lockdown. I mean, I think lockdown is
I think
key.
lockdown is important actually for S-Alliance.
I actually don't mind an Ember Spirit pickup to some extent. It does solve some of the mid issues, but again, the problem arises that the Ursa can just be popped mid against the Ember, and all of a sudden the Ember has a bad matchup. So what does he do? Right?
Push and lockdown, Dragon Knight.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, sure, he can even build a hood, I guess, against Dark Willow and the Earthshaker to prevent all the magical damage coming in, get himself an early BKB. Doesn't really fare too bad against Ursa either. He can't really be bursted down by him, if I'm correct.
The Ursa is good in lane. This is
Radiant
Okay.
team
he
pick.
is.
Ember
but
Spirit.
okay, they'll go for Ember Spirit, it seems.
This is
This is I mean, I don't want to say this is questionable because it's needed, right? I mean, the way they've drafted so far, no other hero comes to mind that they can pick as of now, which
It-
will provide them a good sense of catch and fighting potential. So had to be the Ember or the Puck.
it is
10 seconds
very
remaining.
courageous pick in the sense picking up the Ember this early, even though they have last
5
pick.
seconds
But this
remaining.
just tells me that S Alliance are okay putting this Ember anywhere on any lane. He might not necessarily be heading mid.
Dire team ban.
And maybe the Disruptor ban makes a little bit more sense. No, I'm not so sure. But yeah, there's the Arc Warden going to be picked up by Survey Cops. I think Ember is not bad versus the Arc Warden actually.
He can close the distance quite easily. He can also pick himself up a blink dagger and be quite mobile in the team fight. So
Yep.
there is a possibility of catching an Arc Warden off guard and just
10
bursting him down with all
seconds
your remnants.
remaining.
But the issue is going to be the lane for the Ember because so far these
5
lanes don't look good
seconds
for him. I mean,
remaining.
who's he going to go up against? An Ursa, an Arc Warden? Both of those matchups kind of suck if you think about it. On one hand, you have a guy who keeps spamming Spark Wraith every 4 seconds, and you really have no choice but just to either eat the Spark
Radiant
Wraith or eat the
team
right clicks
ban.
from the Arc Warden, and that's how your laning phase kind of sucks against an Arc Warden in general for any hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the inability to deal with those spark rates and those right clicks that you dish out. But anyway, I think S Alliance do have some potential to run this Ember safe lane.
Yep, they probably will run in
10
one of the
seconds
side lanes.
remaining.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I actually don't mind the matchup of
5
Necrophos
seconds
versus
remaining.
Ursa in the middle lane. I think that's something, or like just the Necrophos versus Ursa matchup. So that's something that S Alliance could look to work with.
Yep.
However, the problem still remains. You look at Survey Corps' lineup, they have a fair amount of magical burst. They've picked a hybrid carry, is how some people would like to call it, with the Arc Warden. Like you have ways of dealing magical damage and you have ways of dealing physical damage. And you can also remove Ghost Shot with a level 3 Necronomicon. And that's something that the Arc Warden
Radiant
builds
team
anyway.
pick.
So it's not going to be that much of a problem for him.
Storm.
Storm for
What's
Survey
with the aim
Corps?
ban? Storm, Lina.
Anti-Mage is actually quite good against Dark Warden now that you think about it, because he is one of those few heroes that can actually gap close between him and the Arc Warden, and Arc Warden doesn't really have a good response to that. He's forced to itemize towards the
10
hard kill fight.
seconds remaining.
Magnetic Field doesn't work even if you drop it, because Anti-Mage is going to be inside the bubble.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
the Arc Warden does have a fair
Dire
amount of
team
mana, so
pick.
no matter what it hurts.
What I'm a bit concerned about is Survey Corps not drafting for the possibility of a Broodmother. There's sure they've got the Earthshaker, which in the mid game does help kill the Broodmother, but I don't think any one of these three cores could really do well in lane versus the Broodmother. And maybe just for the sake of safety, you probably
10
would have
seconds
liked to
remaining.
ban out the Broodmother. But as Alliance, it's really up to them whether they're going to try and
5
exploit this
seconds
weakness
remaining.
in the bans coming up from Survey Corps. Survey Corps, they're gone with the Troll Warlord. That's going to be them in the safe
Luna,
lane.
you may now
And as
select
Alliance,
your
they just
hero.
push a little bit harder with the Luna.
I don't think I like this lineup by S Alliance. It's very low on lockdown. I mean, I don't think they have enough ways of dealing with Survey Corps' lineup early on. You look at the Earthshaker, you look at the Dark Willow, you look at the Ursa. All of these heroes are really good against the cores of S Alliance. I mean, sure, Necrophos is the only core who survives, but then that's a lot of pressure on one Necrophos to carry you through a team fight and potentially through a whole game. So
This is, I mean, for S Alliance to win this game, the Ember has to do so well.
yeah, they need to do.
I mean,
well in
even if
lanes.
he doesn't have a great lane, which I don't think he's going to have a great lane, he has to find impact in the mid game. He is S Alliance's primary source of lockdown, the only source of reliable lockdown, with the exception of the Reaper site and that mini stun from the Lucent Beam. But yeah, it's all on the Ember, and I'm actually going to agree with you. I don't I don't like the draft. I don't see them winning even one lane. Maybe the Necroforce is the only one who does okay. But I'm personally concerned for them across all 3 lanes.
I agree with you. And now, it's I'm trying to find a ray
Prepare
of hope
for
at the
battle.
side of S Alliance, but it just seems to me that it just seems to me that there's no hope to be found. I mean, just look at the draft. I mean, sure, you have an Undying, you have a Necroforce, you have a Silencer, heroes that are likely to win the lane, but is it really gonna happen? I think that's the question. I mean, sure, you may even win the lane, but you're probably not gonna win the game post the 10-minute mark when the lanes are over. I mean, what the hell are you gonna do when a Dark Willow starts running at you with a Terrorize and a Bedlam and a 6 ultimates? I mean, that's not gonna happen. You don't really have an answer for that.
Yep. There's not much really.
I mean, no source of lockdown, in fact, to just sort of control the Dark Willow when she has that Showdown going. And
chains don't connect.
Yep, chains don't connect. Neither does Lucent Beam.
30 seconds
neither does
to
Reaper's
battle.
Sight. The only ray of hope is the Global Silence, and even then, that's not the best. They do, on the other hand, have an okay amount of heals though, the Necroforce and the Undying. So maybe they can look to that to survive those little skirmishes that are going to happen and really turn it around. But still a bit of a tall order.
Also not the best lineup to try and clear Roshan. They don't do a great job in the Rosh
The
pit.
battle begins.
None of them are particularly good at going towards the Rosh pit. And I think, they're also going to Hummy Bounty until they miss.
Oh, okay,
nice.
That's probably going to pay for it with his life though. Nope, he's actually not. He's just going to walk away.
Yeah,
and get himself cancelled.
I don't get money, you don't get money.
Interesting. Okay, so it seems that it's going to be a Silence and Necroforce dual lane.
Who are they up against? So they're actually not sending the Necroforce mid. They want the Ember Spirit mid versus the Arc Warden. I believe that over time the Arc Warden starts to win this matchup. So he's put his first kill point into Flux. One could make a case for Sparklet because, well, it's great at contesting boundary runes. The thing with Flux is, in the mid lane, your strongest tool is actually Sparklet. Because Flux can very easily be... So you want to... Anyway, I think over time he'll get more points in the Sparklet. Up top, Scream...
Scream might actually be dead. He just needs one more DK onto Falcon, but he's not going to chase. Oh, but the Sal cancel. That's very crucial. And now he has to run back to base or call himself another Sal, which is what he's going to do.
Yep. He's called himself a Sal. But yeah, one of the better ways of just playing versus the Arc Warden is you want to have a TP at all times. That's the one weakness of Arc Warden in the mid lane. If there are too many spark rates, if you really can't take a particular path to just get out of the lane, you can always TP out of the lane as long as you have a decent amount of HP. The Flame Guard is also going to help the Ember Spirit to a certain extent, and if he's finding CS like this, if he hits his 6 early, he's the one who's going to be killing the Arc Warden and not the other way around. But there you go.
Finally, some harass coming in from the Arc Warden. Now he's starting to play in, it seems. He should be in a fair amount of trouble. He actually hasn't called out a Sal himself. The Tangle's on cooldown, so he has to play very carefully. He can die here if he's not careful.
Yeah. Silence is going to die though.
Yeah, Silence.
It was inevitable.
Down bottom. Well, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen in this lane. That's going to be the story for a long time. Although the good news is that the Ursa isn't farming either, so I mean the side of Soul is going to be fine. But Ursa, well, he's going to follow the magic stick and find the kill Undying.
Yep.
Undying just overestimating his tankiness there and paying the price.
Did the Ember get his bottle?
I think he did not.
Okay.
He got himself a Sal instead, which got him immediately cancelled. But okay. So the Arc Warden is going for a magic stick, fair enough. I just figured that maybe this is a matchup where you get yourself some extra stats and just continue focusing on right-clicking the Ember.
Down bottom though, they're running this trial lane which we haven't...
Oh god, that shadow on there. That's gonna be the end of this, but about the trial lane.
Yeah, I don't see too many trial lanes these days. I want to say that Troll is okay in this lane. He should be able to hold his own and farm versus the next
Moon of Illusion.
But yeah, they've called for a trial lane. They've decided to sack the Ursa, not running a dual lane with him. And Ursa hasn't really found too much CS. 0 CS, to be precise. The Silencer's got
That was
1.
a burn.
I'm not sure if that's the bounty rune. I don't know if that counts as CS. I don't think it.
Yeah. The Undying, all he really has to do is keep throwing out DKs and prevent him from coming forward and getting last hits and pull the wave. That's how they win the lane up to get top. Even if they let Scream get levels, eventually he's going to have a boot. He's going to have boots and he can run down heroes like the Silencer, heroes like the Necros. And that's going to be his way back into this game. So maybe that's something that the side of S Alliance can look to correct. Although, so far they're not doing a bad job of shutting down the Ursa.
I mean, they've sacked him, right? The Radiant, they've sacked Arosa. They want him to play this lane solo, which honestly seems a bit odd. And they're running this tri-lane down bottom. Now, one of the main benefits of running a tri-lane is that you have one support who takes care of the creepy equilibrium. And, well, neither support is doing a particularly good job in that department down bottom. The wave keeps pushing, back at mid. Does he get it? The spark rate could be enough. The flame guard is worn off, but no.
No, it just didn't spawn in time. And now he might die to the tower itself, but the healing staff is going to keep him alive. And I don't know how you pronounce that name. Shedri 666?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but down bottom, you're running an aggressive tri lane, or rather defensive tri lane, what am I saying? But you want to be controlling the creep equilibrium, and they aren't doing a great job. If you look at the hard camp, there's actually a sentry there. It's honestly an interesting decision. The range rolling axe is not going to connect. And without the troll coming ahead, they definitely can't find this kill. But yeah, so the Dire, they've done something really interesting down bottom. They've actually blocked the hard camp. Now, in a dual lane, that would be a move that you would want to avoid, because that's the camp that you pull to reset the equilibrium for yourself as an offlaner. They don't have access to that, but they're also preventing the Radiant from stacking the chain pulling both the small camp and the hard camp. There's an adjustment that the Earthshaker and the Willow can make, and that's just stacking the small camp and pull it. Eventually, you will kill off the creep wave, and you will be able to reset the creep equilibrium. But you're running a tri-lane, and you aren't doing this. And this begs the question: what's the point? Sure, you're securing the troll's farm, but the supports are going to be really under-leveled in the mid game. This is something that the Dire should definitely look to punish. That both these supports aren't going to find all that much, and you probably want to abuse the fact that the Willow's not sick, that she doesn't have terrorize, that the Earthshaker's not finding farm, and despite that, they keep going time and time again.
I mean, Silencer, he should be okay, but the Fisher is going to make sure he's not okay. And, well, that's going to be the kill. Jogger's camp finds himself another one, and he is really happy about it.
Yeah.
He's dancing away. Back up top, Ursa could be in a bit of trouble. No mana on to throw Porta though, so he should be using the boost and beam off, but he Ursa's going to die regardless. The DK, the Tombstone, it's more than enough.
Absolutely. So, mid lane Ember, he's dropping low as well.
Oh, the Spark Race is going to finish him off. No, the bottle actually keeps him alive, but can this Legion chase over? There's a stick. Oh no, he mispredicted. Shedri 666. Well, he did his job though. He zoned out the Ember completely. That's going to be a base trip for him. Not even level 6 yet. Things going from bad to worse here for the side of S Alliance.
Yeah, but there are a couple of things that I want to mention. The Willow and the Earthshaker are going to come out of the lanes under leveled. The Willow's not going to hit her GPM talent as quick as she'd like, but they might find the Necrophos.
That Coast Shot was rather a bit too early. He didn't really get a lot of heals off. He took a lot more magical damage than he healed. But he's still going to stay alive regardless.
Yeah.
And force some more region out. Interesting build coming out here by Shoes Camp, going for that point in Aftershock without the point in Totem. I don't think this is particularly useful.
I mean, it helps the Fisher as well, so
I think you have to be really close to get it off. This is the radius of the Aftershock. Perhaps there's a case for the Enchant Totem instead. Just get that extra damage. I'm curious to see if the Earthshaker goes for a Soul Ring first and just proceeds to farm Juggle Camps. But I'll have to hold on to that because back up top, I'm dying. Well, he is dying slowly but surely. But Ursa's going to die before he does that. That's going to be the end of that. Ursa not really having a good lane. Level 4 buying wards at this point.
Yep. So
that's when you know when you're
this tri-lane down bottom is a really bad idea. The Earthshaker's not going to find his blink quickly. The Ursa's not going to find his blink quickly. They're killing the Necrophos. No. Sure. But really, it's worth it. Ember comes with it.
Okay, yeah. Ember's gonna come. He's trying to make some moves here, but he's gonna get bashed up by the Troll Warlord. He has a double damage rune, but the blind is actually preventing him. And now the Flame God's actually gonna wear off, courtesy of the shadows on the damage. And now, with the Fisher, Shoes Camp is actually gonna find himself a double kill. Smacks the totem on the
Dire's
side
middle
of
tower
head,
is under
Dogger's
attack.
Camp, he has to be careful because he's starting to go low on HP. Doesn't really have a lot of reach, and Shoes Camp might end up going down here if the Necrophos chases, but looks like he's not too eager on doing that. Shoes Camp is just gonna TP out.
Dire's
interesting
structures are
plays coming out here from
fortified.
both sides, to say the least. But like you mentioned, this tri-lane is sure it's helping the troll farm, but that's all it's doing. And I don't think that they're allocating the resources properly on the side of server costs.
The costs outweigh the benefits really.
Yeah, it's more of an economics lesson right now, side of server, than it is a Dota lesson.
Yeah. I mean, the troll is farming, but 3
Dire's
heroes in your
middle
lineup that are
tower
meant
is
to
under
come online
attack.
early are suffer. Which means that the troll is the one who's got to make use of the farm and maybe fight early on. The Ursa's not going to get a blink. The Earthshaker's not going to get levels. Same goes for the Velo.
Yeah, I mean, Earthshaker's still looking to find himself the arcanes. I can understand why he wants to go for the arcane.
Can
boost
we
this
bring
game.
down levels? Can we just bring down levels?
The rune of invisibility.
So, okay. Bottom.
Necrophos. He has the ghost shot, has the ward. He is still waiting to pop it. He doesn't pop his wand now, and his ghost shot's actually going to wear off, so he doesn't find value out of the heal. Now he's going to pop the wand instead, but it's not going to do so much for him. He's just going to get collected down by Jogger's camp, and that's going to be the end of that.
Yeah, mid lane Ember's also dropping low.
Yeah, he is way back here. The possibility of him dying unless he did something weird.
Dire's
But
middle
it's not
tower
gonna
is
happen.
under attack.
While Chedri 666 is going to push in the mid lane. So,
Yep.
has the Midas completed, by the way. That's his Midas in 9.5 minutes. Things are not looking good for the side of Survey Alliance because S Alliance, because their draft is supposed to be fighting in the mid game, but they're not doing well in their lanes. They don't have a lot of levels. Every time they try to make a rotation somewhere,
Bold
they're just
and
just
sweet.
leading to the
Dire's
side of
middle
Survey
tower
Corps
is
and,
under attack.
You know, things always get turned upon their head. Ursa, at least he's going to find himself all these empty runes. That's something that as Alliance are going to be hurt by severely because look
We
at
gotta
the farm
stay on
right
the
now.
move.
It's-
Radiant structures are
it's
fortified.
poverty, absolute poverty
Dire's
for the
middle
side
tower
of
has fallen.
S Alliance here. They have 2 null talismans on a Necrophos. 10.5 minutes in, and this was the hero who was actually, we were hoping would do well in his lane. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Back up top, Falcon, he could be in a world of trouble here. Is going to get rooted up by the Bramble Maze. The Ghost Storm to follow soon enough. Scream getting the right clicks off, working it in with the Fury Swipes, and now the Undying. Well, he's not going to be so Undying, or is he? The Tombstone Slow is actually doing more than enough, and that's going to make sure that the Undying lives. So he had to pop a Flesh Golem, had to pop a Tombstone, but he does stay alive and wastes time from the side of Team Survey Corps. Now, this is go time bottom. Unfortunately for them, look at the Necrophos. He's still level 5 in the Silent. He's just been sapping XP all the time. So while he does have enough damage, they don't have what it takes to kill the Troll Warlord. And now, I mean, even though this was a bad move by the side of Survey Corps, you can't really punish it if you're SL Lions. You didn't play your lanes out properly. I mean, your lanes just weren't meant to win in the first place. And now, well, the Necrophos, he might bite the dust. Here, doesn't want the second. Dark Rose probably end up going down. The last one is actually going to proc, and that Necrophos finds the kill. But Joggers gets the bash when he needs it and takes down the Necrophos slowly but surely. Shoot Stamp coming in. Doesn't really have another totem, but look at the Luna. She's coming with the Eclipse. She wants to turn around and get the kill, and she will. So Pro Pota, he actually has a Dragon Lance completed 12 minutes in. Definitely not bad for a Luna, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. Can this Luna carry the team on the back? I think that's something that we need to find out soon enough. Dragon Lance completed. She hasn't even used a single tangle. So there's that. Could look to hit the jungle camps and just give over this lane to the Necrophos, allow him to get some. But it seems to me that the Necrophos, yeah, he's gone top. So he's going to be getting levels over here. Your position 4 has more levels than your position 3. This is very more levels. Something went wrong, probably.
Yeah. Can we take a look at net worth? How's everybody looking in? Saw Accordance at the top. Early Midas. Tier 1 down as well. Global Sun's committed. What? Okay, they find nothing.
I think it was a defensive global plan. But
Okay.
regardless, back at mid. Okay, that just happened. He just popped a bunch of remnants, tried to go on the Arc Warden, wasn't really too
Don't
successful.
like the Facebook's pickup.
Yeah, I don't think I like the
On the
face.
Ember.
Yeah, I don't like this Facebook's pickup either. I think it's feared at best. Like, power threads are so much better and so much more efficient. I know that phase boots used to be the item for Ember, a while back, but Treads is just better nowadays. PhD, everything it gives you, it's far more valuable than that extra 16% movement speed and the removed collision that you get from the face boots. So, quite surprised to say that he went for that instead of the boots of travel as well. Because that's also an option that the Ember could consider, you know, at this point, not really going to win the, you're not really going to win the mid game, so might as well try to stick push and get yourself some farm going and look to play towards that 30-minute mark where you have a couple of items and Luna has a big
I agree.
KP.
I mean, if you want to play the mid game, you get the treads, you have a very specific build and a very specific approach. Otherwise, you just hold on to those boots, maybe go for the bots, maybe just take a look at the game and see how your farm is going. He's trying to farm the jungle. Rough times here for the Dire, and I'm not sure who's going to make space for them. I mean, if I feel the side of the Radiant right now, you probably should have realized that you've gotten off to a good start. What you need is that Blink Dagger up.
Oh, down bottom, there's the Eclipse, letting it go the Necroforce, getting it go the Reaper's side onto the Earthshaker, but the Earthshaker still surviving, gets the Echo Slam off, not really doing much, or controlling the Necroforce, but it does deal a lot of damage. He's probably going to end up going down. Arco's going to find himself dead, but now Mireska with the level 7 and the Shadow Realm, along with the Dark Willow, ultimate the Bedlam, does enough damage, it gives down the Necroforce. And now, the Arc Warden, well, he's coming for this fight. The Ursa TP'd in as well. I think I heard an overpower there, but yeah, he can't really close the distance. Still sitting on 1k gold, that's what happens when you sack your Ursa. 15 minutes and he doesn't really have a big item. But, I mean, still things looking okay for Survey. I mean, S Alliance, I guess. I'm not sure who that fight exactly came, but they did lose the troll wall, or although the Arc wasn't cleaned up, so that's still a problem. And Scream, he might just end up going down here, but he's actually going to take down the Tombstone instead.
Dire's
That's going to
bottom
be the end of
tower
that.
is under
Slight
attack.
miscommunication there. Falcon popped his flesh golem.
No one's even picked up the top bounty ones.
And I think Pro Pota is on it. He knows about
Blessings
this.
Yeah,
upon a
but the
loyal
Raven haven't
warrior.
even gone and checked their own bounty. This is
Yeah, and now the pings are going to come out. They know, oh, something bounty. It's going to
this
be
is
the
sloppy
Luna.
play, but
It's
they might
sloppy
find a
play.
kill.
Yep, it was a calculated play. They wanted the net worth on Luna doing so they could kill her and get the gold off of when she dies, along with the experience Vivek. And that's going to be the end of it. So Vivek Ops with the next level plays.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding, guys. I mean,
It's possible. I mean, I don't know, but the Arc Warden has been stellar so far. Just as I say that, I caught his Tempest double snoozing a bit in the mid lane, but Midas Maelstrom is off to a decent start, and this is how you enable the Fisher, the Enchanter, and the Undying all by himself. Not really that scary.
Oh, no. Don't take his kill, Earthshaker. Thank you. Let Scream get it. He needs that money.
Yeah, he needs it, and he's gonna get his Blink Dagger.
Necroforce, he's gonna get
Dire's
rooted up
top
top. That's a
tower is
maxed out
under
Bramble
attack.
Maze, by the way. And now the Bedlam. Well, he doesn't really have vision, so he can't really get the damage off. Neither does he get the Shadow Realm hit off. But look at this. Jogger's Castle diving the tower, going ham on Luna. No answers clear from the side of S Alliance. They buy back on the Undying, just starts the TP, but then he cancels it midway. And now, the Silencer. He's slowly
Radiant's
running
middle tower
back
is
towards his
under
own
attack.
fountain, away from the big bad heroes on the side of Survey Corp. Scream. He's still really eager on chasing it. The Ember Spirit's
Dire's
here, but
top
he's on
tower
the
is
ground,
under
and he
attack.
doesn't even have enough mana for all his spells.
Dire's top
He
tower has
gets the chains
fallen.
off, but there's no follow-up.
Yeah. No, I think
Luna's
if,
dead. Necroforce is dead. There's no way they can fight this.
Yep. I mean, the reason Bedlam didn't do all that much is because there's a hood on the necklace.
I think it was also because the Dark Willow didn't really have vision of the Necroforce for the majority of the duration of the Bedlam. I could be wrong though. But yeah, Necroforce has the hood, so the Bedlam shouldn't really be bothering him that much. Although the problem is that his HP pool is still quite low. Sure, he has 1000 HP, but considering the amount of farm that the side of Survey Corps have, they have more than enough damage to take him down once.
Yep. And they're gonna go. This is a 5-man smoke play this early on. I think it's simply because the Ursa's got a Blink Dagger. And I think even the good old Arc Warden is running them. They see Aku.
Dire are
How
scared.
long does Aku survive this?
Well, he can survive for a fair amount. He has pushed out and a magic one. The Fish is completely off the mark, and Troll Warlord turns his attention towards the Tombstone, brings it down, and now Falcon getting past up slowly but surely. He's somewhat hard to bring down, but he will go down eventually. And now the Necroforce, he's the one on the list. That's the meat on the bones, the kill they really wanted. Undying is just the cherry on top.
Can we take a look at the Ember?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, this was an interesting call. The
Radiant's
Ember
bottom
Spirit did have a
tower is
TP.
under
They
attack.
were fighting near the Dire Shrine, but the Dire didn't want to go and fight around the Necrophos and the Undying. Strange as it may sound, the Undying
Trickster's
and his
Rune of
Tombstone
Illusion.
is a huge source of team fight for them. And they choose not to fight.
Roshan
They give up
has
a couple of
fallen to
heroes.
the
They
Radiant.
give up Rosh,
Dire's
and
middle
it seems as
tower
if
is under attack.
the game plan for them is to turtle and wait for the Ember and the Luna to get big. In that sense, Ember is itemizing correctly. If this game is about him scaling and him contributing in the late game, then he needs to pick up that Battle Fury and who knows, maybe even a Divine Repair somewhere down the line. But yeah, that's the game plan for the Dire. Just not take
Dire's
fights.
top tower is under
Just
attack.
farm, just turtle as hard as you can. And if you take a look at the vision also, it's all very defensive. It's clear that they just want to be safe in the jungle.
Radiant's
and they want
bottom
to farm away.
tower
While
is under
if you're
attack.
the Radiant, you got that Aegis, you got the Blink on the Ursa. I don't know how close the Earthshaker is to his Blink, but we just take a look. He's getting there. It's probably go time. You just keep pushing outer towers as much as you can whenever you have your ultimates.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing you can do as of now for the side of S Alliance. They can turtle quite well if you look at the lineup, to be honest, because they have what they need to turtle. They have heals, they have a bunch of soft disables in the silence, ways of disengaging. So it's not looking all that bad if they decide to hit the late game
Who's
mark.
blue up top all by himself?
It's the Arc
It's the
Warden.
Tempest. Okay, I think he's got his BOTs as well. Yeah.
Dire's bottom
Yep,
tower
and
is
things
under
are just going
attack.
to go from bad to worse here for the side of S Alliance because he is starting to pick up an Orchid. He's becoming quite big
Never
himself.
refuse
Oh,
gold
the Undying.
given.
Has to be careful. Flux now going to target him because he is away from the units, but he TPs out,
Yes.
and that's going to be the end of
That's him TPing back home.
Dire's
so
bottom
I think
tower
the Radiant
has fallen.
should, comfortably claim that bottom tier 1 tower. They get themselves a couple of bounty runes down bottom as well. And yeah, they should probably just keep grouping out like this. Shoes camp. Not much since those arcane boots, but he should be getting his blink dagger soon enough.
only shoes so far on shoes camp. The blink dagger is going to take some time. 200 gold away. I think they could just wait out, let him
Dire's
farm up,
bottom
and then maybe they
tower
can
is
look
under
at take an
attack.
objective with the help of the Aegis.
Yep.
Troll Warlord doesn't have a Quelling Blade. Somewhat surprising to me, considering the fact that he actually has a Stout Shield sitting in his inventory, but not a Quelling Blade. But fair enough, to each their own, I guess.
Dire's bottom tower
definitely
is
Why
under
is Quelling
attack.
Blade so good? I mean, I know this Fandare, I can take last hits without a Quelling Blade. But why is it so good? It's just a flat percentage increase to you
It's
last
sort of
hit.
flat damage increase
It is.
now, right?
Radiant's
Right
top
now, it's a
tower
plus
is under
24
attack.
damage increase against
24 damage increase.
Dire's
against neutral
bottom
creeps.
tower
So
has
think about
fallen.
it. You're 200 gold. You pay 200 gold to get an extra 24 damage against
Dire's
creeps.
middle tower
Let's just
is
compare
under
that to
attack.
any other item in the shop for me for like the comparison's sake, right? So let's have a look at Broadsword. Where's it gone? There you go. So Broadsword is 1200 gold for plus 18 damage against heroes. Quelling Blade, on the other hand, is 200 gold for plus 24 damage against creeps. Now that matters a lot because as a hard carry, you're gonna be killing creeps for the most part of the game.
Yep.
So that in itself is a very efficient
Radiant's
item to
top
have.
tower
On
is
top
under
of that,
attack.
if you're an efficiency god like some farming players like Black and Sylar, you'd also use the Quelling Blade to make better paths around the jungle. You break certain trees, and even though you may not be a hero that farms really fast, you can just take advantage of the extra move speed that heroes like Troll Warlord have.
Has the Urchika picked up his blink?
I don't
Dire's
think-
middle tower is under
He's
attack.
got himself the blink. So this push is a lot more comfortable for the side of Survey Corps. They'll be able to get the Smith tier 2 tower.
Dire's
Now the
middle tower
Buffalo is
has
committing the
fallen.
Bedlam. Short cooldown, fair enough. Do they want to go high ground though? That's the question.
Well, I think they go for the other remaining tier 2 tower.
Luna, I mean, she is way too close there for comfort, and it's just gonna TP out. Unfortunately, I have to say, Survey Corps, sure, they have a lot of, they have a lot of objectives right now, but they're not really translating that into map control that well. Their warding game
Dire's
could be a
top
lot
tower
better.
is under
in all
attack.
honesty. This ward and this ward together, they give you the same information. So you'd much rather place one of these instead of both of them.
Yep. Ouch.
Yeah.
That was
so,
the Tempest
Radiant's
double.
middle
that was just a
tower
Tempest
is under
double taking
attack.
down an Undying
Dire's
all by
top
itself,
tower
but
has fallen.
He's gonna stay alive.
Has the Aquaman got his Orchid yet?
I think he has. Yep, he has.
He's been farming really, really well.
Yeah, he has double Midas, right? Along with the Maelstrom.
Radiant's
So his GPM
bottom
is gonna be looking
tower
quite
is
good.
under
I'm
attack.
gonna make a prediction and say he has over 550 GPM. And he is way over 550 GPM. He has 640 GPM. Okay. Yeah. He is super farmed at this point. And where's the answer to the Arc Warden now? If you look at the lineup of S Alliance, well, sure you have the Battlefield on the end, but he really doesn't want to be. Well, and now he's gonna get silenced up by the Arc. That Tempest double. He might just get taken out. The Sword is not healing him, and that's gonna be the end of him. 48 seconds down without a buyback. Ember Spirit overestimating his tankiness, ends up going down. A global silence comes up, but that's not gonna save him. But an Ursa's right clicking away, and now the Arc Warden says go because it's go time for them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's absolutely nothing that S-Line can do
They
at this
still
point.
the battle runs.
Okay, but the creeps end up dying, so I guess that's going to delay the push for a little while
Another
longer.
couple of minutes, I mean, 1 minute from now, the siege creep wave will spawn. 5 minutes from then, double siege creeps.
Dire's
Probably go to
structures
that.
are fortified.
Troll is also getting closer and closer to his BKB. They want to make advantage of finding these pickups.
Oh no, once again, the Undying getting half the form by the Tempest Double. That's going to be Scream jumping in and swatting him down, so surely the kill. Still going to the Arc Warden, however, and the Tempest Double just throwing its body forward, trying to make
bottom
space.
tower
The
is
fight
under
of Insight
attack.
is pretty to look at. It is protecting the buildings from magical damage, but I really doubt what that fight is going to do. I hear a Necro Slam, it's on to two heroes. The Embers and then the Necroforce, if they get caught out over here, the fight, it's going to be over for the side of Cervicops. And oh boy, they turn it around. The Eclipse, not really hitting anyone so far. The Terrorize, going to push back the Luna. And
Dire's middle tower
both sides come
is
in
under
big
attack.
ultimates, but they don't really find
Oh, the Tempest
crucial
double.
kills. Oh no, the Tempest double. Once again, silencing up the Ember Spirit. This is going to be like
Dire's
deja vu
bottom
as he
tower
comes
is
down
under
for the
attack.
second time to the clone of Arc Warden, and they don't even get the last hit.
He's got a Blink Dagger as well, so he's just going to keep on jumping at every opportunity he gets. And that's the Dire fighting without the Ember, without the Eclipse, without the Reaper side. If I were the Radiant, I'd be a little more adventurous and chip away on that tier 3 tower and even bring it down. They could look to do so, but Joggers can.
He's going to toggle over to Melee, get that extra movement speed going for himself, slowly running away from the side of S Alliance. He is not too successful though, because the new summon dying are coming in, and that's going to be enough. But a beautiful Bramble Maze cashing 3 heroes, but no follow-up just yet, because the Echo Slam was used in the last fight.
The Troll wanted something, his teammates wanted something else, nobody wins in the end, and the Troll just ends up dying. Did he buy out his BKB? I'm not sure.
I don't
No,
think
he
so.
didn't.
He didn't have enough money.
He didn't. But yeah, I mean, the heroics of the Arc Warden, they ultimately end up going in vain. And if you are the Radiant, you probably want to wait for Roshan.
Radiant structures
and
are fortified.
maybe just move towards the Rosh Pit, claim the Aegis this time with the cheese as well, and then maybe look to close this game out once and for all. This
Oh no, top lane. Once again, the Ember gets silenced up by the Arc Warden. This time he had the Mjolnir, so the magical damage didn't come through, but the physical damage did. That's going to be the end of
I mean, I've got to tell you, there's one very easy way to survive that, and that's having a TP.
I mean, I just saw his TP scroll come off cooldown. He literally just TP'd in.
Then you
onto
don't
his own
push,
tier
then
3.
you don't show in lane.
I mean,
Or,
I think the way he's using his TP is incorrect, right? Because you're TPing onto your tier 3 tower, where you can just walk the distance for slightly long and have the TP to run away
So
back home.
at this stage, it's magical damage. The Flame Guard is going to protect you against that, provided you get it off before the Orchid Cup gets tossed out upon you. So as long as you have a TP scroll and the TP scroll is available, you should be able to get yourself back to safety. Otherwise, you're going to keep dying like that. Or else, the other option is to farm your jungle, where it's safe, where the Tempest Double can't consistently easily find you. But they're not doing anything right now. They're just bleeding kills. And if you were the Dire, you probably want to smoke and find a pickup now. You want to do this so that you don't give the Radiant the opportunity to group up and move towards the Rosh Pit. You don't give them the opportunity to group up and end. The last thing you want to do is get picked off like that. Both up. Playing with fire there has got to be careful.
Play with fire, you get burnt. But Propoth is careful, wary of the flames, and he's going to go back to his base. And slowly but surely, S Alliance getting choked inside their own base. It seems that the side of Surveycops have the hands around the throat of S Alliance. Comeback potential, it could be there, but they need to contest this Roshan. And they don't seem to be
you either contest Roshan or you sit base with buybacks, and you hope that you win a fight by virtue of having buyback. It's the only way you come back into this game. Can we take a look at buyback?
Let's quickly talk some
Roshan
buyback
has
status.
fallen
Seems
to
that
the
So
Radiant.
the only one with it's only the Necroforce, the Undying, and the Silencer,
And the Luna.
and the Luna. So Propota has got his buyback.
Yeah, actually no heroes from the side of... Okay, well, the two supports, apart from the two supports on the side of the Radiant, nobody else really has a buyback.
Yep.
Troll Warlord now has a cheese completed. Aegis onto the Ursa. Okay.
Okay.
fair enough.
Hold on. Can we just take... Okay, we're Nullifier. Oof. I thought we might see Divine Rapier or something along those lines. I just saw a Naked Relic. I got scared.
Flashback to the Arena 2018.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah. The side of Survey Corps should be able to push high ground now with the help of that Aegis that they have on the Ursa. Ursa still looking to find an initiation, but of course,
Dire's middle
yeah.
tower has
cancelling his
fallen.
Blink Dagger so far. They will find the
Dire's
tier 3
top
Necrophorus,
tower
gonna get
is
muted
under
up, but he
attack.
has the Ghost Shroud, so he's not really gonna take any right-click damage. The Arc Warden clone goes down again and gives away a bunch of gold to the side of S Alliance, but they've broken base. They're taking the tier 3 tower. They can go
Dire's
back for the
bottom
shrine,
shrine
and then they
is
can
under attack.
look to take the melee racks. Although I still think that this is a waste of the Aegis that they have. I think they should just go in.
Yeah. I mean,
throw the Ursa's body
the
forward.
Aegis is on the Ursa. Arc Warden has got a Blink Dagger. It's probably go time. You have the Orchid. You have the Orchid to back you up. And even if the Global Sands come through,
Dire's
it just means that
bottom
the
shrine
Echo Slam
is
won't
under
follow
attack.
instantly.
Dire's bottom tower
But yeah, I think
has
Arc Warden
fallen.
got the tier 3 tower down bottom.
Yeah, he did.
Dire's
And,
bottom
it's the
shrine
Clone actually who
has
got
fallen.
the TS3 tower bottom. He might even get the Ember Spirit if he's not careful. And that's going to be the end of him. But we all need just in time. The Ember Spirit buys back, but there's no push coming in just yet. And that's one buyback down on the side of S Alliance. So things not really looking too good for them. If the Ember Spirit dies again, I think that's going to be game. There's no way they can hold on to this stream. Looking for an initiation. There's no Observer Wall on the high ground just yet, but it's going to get plopped down right about now. Give them a fair amount of vision, but the Curse of the Silent once again on screen, just sort of cutting him down. But look at the top. Necrophorce, he's going to get taken down by the real Arc Warden, and now he's going to get turned around upon. The Eclipse actually does the work, but the clone coming from the back line, looking to do some work on the Propota. He has the mana, dispels of the Orchid, but meanwhile in the mid lane, look at the Troll Warlord and the Ursa just going ham on these Raxes here. Nothing really stopping them so fast. He has the Aegis, but he's really not finding an initiation. And Jogger's camp, he managed to take down the tier 3. He didn't manage to take down the melee backside. The Global Silence comes along, but there's no real follow-up just yet. The Troll Warlord is going to pop the BKB, go forward, look towards the Luna, then going back out because he doesn't feel too comfortable, thinks he's in a bad position. The Ember Spirit, meanwhile, takes away the Aegis of the Ursa, and that's going to be the end of that. I heard she's getting popped. The Troll Warlord does end up being a beautiful terrorize onto two people. It's on there.
Dire's structure
And the Silence, and now Scream's going to go in, along with the Echo Slam. That's going to be the okay, Hero Chica ends up going down, but Scream still manages to survive and clean up. So that's going to be a double kill for him while the
Dire's
Troll
middle
Warlord can
barracks
just...
has fallen.
He's supposed to be hitting Raxus, but he's not diving tier 3s and Fountain, but okay. Goes forward, doesn't respect the Luna, pays the price
Dire's
for it.
middle
and,
barracks has
well,
fallen.
the side of Survey Corp, sure they get the alliance, but that execution could have been a lot cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, the Radiant just don't play very well around the Arc Warden. So all the Earthshaker has to do is follow the Tempest double and just hit a Fisher at the right time.
Regeneration!
Chori would be doing so much, but instead they push mid, they want to get the barracks. They don't get the barracks, they lose the Aegis on the Ursa for no reason. There's just a general lack of finesse on the Radiant. And this is something that might not hurt them in semi-final number 1, but you got the grand final also today. It is a
Dire's
best of
middle
3,
tower
and
is
if
under
they're going
attack.
up versus some of the better teams from Pakistan, this could be a problem for them. I'm not sure what the Troll was doing all the way right at the very mouth of the enemy fountain. And even that BKB is so questionable coming up from the Troll.
Yeah, not the best plays being made here. I want to take a moment
But
to talk about
I
the
think
optimization.
I think what we really have to point out is the great level of individual play coming up from this Arc Warden. I've seen a lot of good Arc Wardens, even when they've been given an okay or a free lane, struggle to maintain and find the kind of GPM that Chori has. And props to him, man. It's very rare that you can say that a Dota game has been a one-man show, but this game certainly has been all about the Arc.
Yeah, he's been really making plays with the help of his clone. Every single time it seems the Ember Spirit shows his face on the map, the clone is upon him. There's a knock it, there's a nullifier, and there's a dead Ember Spirit on the floor. And history might repeat itself here because down bottom, the Ember Spirit is trying to
Radiant
the face of the
structures
Troll
are
Waller. The Troll
fortified.
Waller did try to go on him, but didn't really get a lot of bashes off. But look at this. Okay,
Invisibility?
nullify on the Ember Spirit. He did try to pop the Yules, but it did get purged off. And now, well, he's actually going to be okay. Looks like the silence was popped right before the nullifier, and since he Yules himself up in the air, the silence got dispelled, but the nullifier didn't, and he still really had his remnants to go back home, so he's going to be okay there. Dispels the silence. The nullifier does bring him down, but since he's not silenced anymore, he can go back to base. But terrorize, that's not something he can keep. Now they are really working away on the Ember Spirit. He doesn't have any option here. 100 seconds down without a buyback. The Earths are going forward, looking to find the silencer. He's already doing the global silence. The Ember Spirit comes out. He's up dying and choose cap. He's going to end up dropping. Suddenly, the side of Zoecops, it lose to you, but is still looking to move forward. The Necroforce, full on HP, is going to eat a curse down to his face. And the side of Zoecops, they're pushing into the mid lane. The Arc Warden Clone once again going forward with the Orchid and the Nullifier. Laying the hurt on the Luna. The Luna has the Butterfly, but it's not enough to help her survive. And now the Luna buying back, desperate to hold on to the structures. Necroforce is going to get taken down as well. He did have Ghost Shot to pop, and the Nullifier made sure he can't pop his wand either. And now Luna, the only person alive on the side of S Alliance. Well, Arc Warden, yeah, I caught that. Not the most respectful amount of Dota coming out by him, but
Dire's
definitely some
bottom
good,
barracks are under
mechanical Dota
attack.
coming out from the Arc Warden.
Yeah.
Things, I mean, there are some things that the side of
What did the
Dire's
Willow
bottom
win?
barracks has
It's not
fallen.
an earn. Okay, she's gone for the. I didn't see a Glimmer Cape being used in general in that fight. But
Yeah.
okay.
That's
I think also when you want to push early, if this is a game plan that you guys have agreed upon, as a
Dire's
team, it
middle
might make
tower
sense
is under
because
attack.
the early on is also good versus the Necroforce, the Spirit Professor,
Dire's top
especially good
tower
versus the
has
Necroforce.
fallen.
was BKB go forward, final hold coming out for you from S Alliance, fully backing off. They do scared on the heroes on the side of Zoecops, but now the stun onto two heroes. Scream. Well, he's popped his BKB, turning his attention towards Necroforce, doesn't have the ghost shot, and now the Arc Warden coming in with the silence, with the nullifier. The Luna still surviving courtesy of the Butterfly, is going to be able to get the Mantis style off and survive. But I don't think the same can be said about the Undying. He's going to get swatted down by the Ursa. Doesn't have the Embrace, he's probably going to end up giving +2 intelligence to the silencer,
Not your
which he will.
best effort.
But at the end of the day, they hold on to the structures up top. They don't let the Raxus.
Yep, it's somewhat evident that the Radiant could definitely work on their communication within themselves. The Fisher was on the Undying, the Troll went on the Luna. Clearly the Troll had the right idea, because if you go on the Luna, this would have been a dieback, but the Earthshaker wanted the Undying instead. So just a little bit of internal communication that can definitely be worked upon, but nonetheless, great Dota coming out from the Radiant, a 33,000 net worth advantage, and this Luna, I don't know how much can she do with this Butterfly.
I mean, she did survive the last fight. If she can survive one fight, I'd say that S Alliance have a okay chance of maybe coming back in this game. But with the Ember Spirit dying like this, yeah, that's a whole different story.
Invisibility?
Chedri, he also has the BKB now, so doesn't really have to be worried about the total
Blessings
silence coming
upon a
in. They have all
loyal
the Reaper
warrior.
Scythe. As long as he gets it off in a fight, he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah.
The
Radiant's
only thing I
bottom
can
tower
sort
is
of,
under attack.
I mean,
he's got to respect the Luna's
yeah,
damage.
he's got to respect the Luna's damage, and he's also got to respect the fact that he needs to save for
Radiant's
buyback. He
bottom tower has
did-
fallen.
I think he has buyback.
He doesn't have buyback as
Okay,
of now. He doesn't have gold for it.
It's
or the
an Arc
cooldown,
Warden.
but yeah, it's an Arc
600 gold per minute. That's his GPM. I'm sure he can buy him
Dire's top
buyback
shrine
before
is
she
under
gives up.
attack.
The Luna has an Invis rune. This could be throwing a curveball into the play, but
Nah.
that Invis is going to expire, it seems. And once again, the lack of disables, it's clearly showing for the side of S Alliance. You don't have heroes that lock others down. You have a draft that's meant to run
Dire's
at
top
enemy heroes.
shrine is under
Chedri's
attack.
gonna go in with the
Dire's
Bloodstone and the
top
Nullifier.
shrine
They're trying to
has
keep
fallen.
the Necroforce alive, and he is gonna try to turn his attention towards the Rax, but he doesn't really do anything, and the Necroforce ends up surviving there.
So, I mean, all the Earthshaker has to do, watch the fight, provide lockdown at the appropriate time, and all the Willow has to do is use that Glimmer Cape.
Roshan
Save your goals,
has
because
fallen
when
to
the
the
Earthshaker
Radiant.
went in the previous fight with that Echo Slam, which caught a bunch, I actually saw the Willow use the Glimmer Cape upon herself so that she could survive, and she was not even in harm's way. So, yeah, I mean, definitely these supports could be enabling their cores a little better. Yeah, and Troll going for the evasion talent.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to.
Or with the
burst
damage
down.
talent.
That's. I don't think that's the right idea. The Luna's eventually going to buy an MKB.
Is that eventually even going to come? I don't think.
That's a very
I
good
don't
question.
think.
I think we'll find.
What's the Luna's farm right now? I think it's also worth dropping down buyback at this stage.
Buybacks are not looking good for
So
the
the
side
Ember's
of
got
Fess
buyback?
Alliance. The Ember's the only one buyback on the side of Fess. Everybody else.
The Undying gets it in 30 gold.
But I don't think what the Undying got buyback. Anyway,
Dire's structures
well, the
are
side,
fortified.
they are going to pop the glyph. So it cops. At least they're working with that now. The Arc Warden going forward. Silencing the Ember's spell. Turns attention towards the Necrophos, who has the pop. But he's going to go down. 52 seconds out of buyback. Things going from bad to worse here for the side of S Alliance. But screen, he might end up going down. I hear that. It doesn't connect on to anyone, but he does have the refresher shot. If he can survive long enough with the help of his Glimmer Gate, maybe he gets a return one. I'm not too sure. But the zombies, they're starting to pile up. They need to take
Dire's
down this
top barracks
Tombstone.
has
Tombstone
fallen.
gonna get swatted upon by Screen. Does his teammates the favor and takes it down. And now Jogger's Camp still focusing on that. Really wants to get it and
Dire's
is going to be
middle
successful.
tower
Meanwhile, the
under
Arc
attack.
Warden finding the Luna, and now the Echo Slam once again doesn't really catch anyone. But it doesn't matter. The side of the Radiant has been reached. Jogger's Camp has farmed his health, still holding on to the lead, fighting strong, and I think this could be the game for Saturday. Lose the Undying. Scream did buy back for this one, I think. Not too sure. Back for this one. Oh, no, he didn't. He's still alive. He's gonna go down, but he does have buyback. So does the Dark Willow. If Survey Corps really want, they can end the game right. But they're gonna take it easy. They're gonna let S Alliance let them defend against Mega Creeps and eventually go in for the kill later on. But look at the Arc Warden. Well, he's
Rooted in the flame.
this one right now. And
I think he
it's not gonna be
can kill
successful.
the Lure with the Blood. I think he can. Blood on Nullifier. It's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage. I'm surprised that the Luna didn't die there.
Yep, the Yule separate from the Ember. I mean, the Ember, he's fallen one too many times to this Arc Warden. Not gonna let anybody.
Yeah. Learned his lesson.
Has he
Balance the
spent
scale.
his buyback? No, he still got buyback. So probably isn't going to purchase another item. I think you hold on to buyback at this stage, or maybe you don't. It appears you don't. He's bought the crystals.
Oh no, the Arc Warden. I mean, that's gonna look buyback. He still has buyback actually. He is not that high in terms of net worth, so his buyback doesn't cost that much. But Shedry, well, still got himself a kill. Extra gold going for him and XP. Level 25 has a 30% lifesteal talent, so yeah, it's not gonna be easy to man fight the Arc Warden. And now the Arc Warden going in with his own hero, going to follow up as well. The Luna's gonna go down. 115 seconds of buyback. If SL Alliance have any hope of coming back into this game, they just all lost it on the back of the dead Luna. And now, still tanky as all, right? Focusing the Tombstone, it's gonna take it down. Shoes Camp gonna throw out the fissure, but the Arc Warden clone once again going, pulling itself up in the air. I'm not sure who's used it that because I think it was a Necrophos. The Necrophos is probably gonna go down. He has a close up, but he's not popping it. He's gonna die as a result. Now the
Dire's
Undying,
middle
dead as well.
tower is
Drops the
under
Tombstone
attack.
when he dies. And
Dire's
GG's gonna
middle
get
tower
called.
has
S Alliance.
Yeah, beautiful stuff coming up from the Arc War. The Soviet Cops will move on to the final. You're watching the two gamers arena semi-final showdown for Lahore. Semi-final 1-1 by Soviet Cops. My name is Vivek. With me is Floki. We're going to cut across to a short break and then we'll be back with semi-final number 2.
team ban. Radiant team ban.
Hello and welcome back to semi-final number 2 for the Dumas Arena Puck is for the Lahore region. My name is Vivek. With me is Floki, and we got Portal Esports facing off versus Jester 5.
Indeed, and it seems Chester 5 have borrowed inspiration from
Dire
Stand
team
5,
back.
the Mumbai-based team who played in the
Radiant
Intermission.
team
Couldn't
back.
get that reference.
Yeah,
But yeah, Jester 5, not a team that I've heard of, but Portal I've heard and watched,
Yep.
and they pretty darn good. I don't know how debatable this
team
is, but
ban.
let's just say top 2 in the nation. Invoker first phase ban, that is a thing, it seems.
Invoker first phase ban seems to be more of a respect ban. And then it seems to be an actual strategical or a ban that just like a hero that they don't want to play against. Portal Esports, they've also banned out the Weaver in the first place, so that's slightly unusual, not
10
something you see
seconds
very
remaining.
often. So it
Radiant
seems that
team
one of the
ban.
teams is probably going to be picking up the Ogre or the Necrophos. I'm curious to see who does that. I mean, one team can pick the Ogre Magnus, the other team can pick up the Necrophos. If that's what the meta is like, I'm not too sure what these teams are comfortable with, but off late, that seems to be one of the most stronger opens in this meta. So Ogre Magnus, not too bad. Pretty good for your
10
carry. Like whoever
seconds
you get, a
remaining.
Terrorblade, a Phantom Lancer, it enables your carry, it makes sure that they can fight and
5
there's always
seconds
threat of
remaining.
Beyond
Dire
the
team
cleave.
pick.
Yeah.
So that's something that both of these sides could work with. I'm curious to see which one picks up what.
Tinker definitely is a respect ban. That much I'm certain of. The Brood, this early on, okay. Considering that Justify were the ones with last pick here,
Radiant team pick.
maybe they didn't really need to ban the Brood, but yeah, I mean, it's very possible that Portal are the kind of team that likes to pick up Brood very early. And a first phase Pugna pickup now. I mean, this is definitely going to make teams think twice of picking up about picking up heroes that expend a lot of mana whenever they cast spells. Someone like the Lina, the Skyrath,
10
Necrophos.
seconds
the
remaining.
Necrophos, especially. Even the Storm Spirit to a certain extent,
5
even though
seconds
he isn't going to
remaining.
be tagged by the Netherward when he's invulnerable in the Ball Lightning,
Mhm.
you're still losing mana in an AoE
Yeah.
in the vicinity of the. It's not fun.
Definitely. And I think the Spugna pick also serves two purposes. The fact that it's
Radiant
so versatile, it can be
team
played in
pick.
the off lane or the mid lane, maybe even safe lane if needed be. But
Dire
Justify,
team
they're going to
pick.
do the smart thing. They're going to pick up the
Witch
Ogre along with a
Doctor.
Witch Doctor. Slightly unusual. Not quite sure why they've picked up the Witch Doctor here. I'm sure they have a plan, but doesn't seem to me the best pick that they could have gone for here. In fact,
Yeah.
I think that they could have paired up Ogre with another strong offlaner or maybe the Ogre is the
Dire
offlaner, who
team
knows?
back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering. Maybe it's an offlane ogre. And Portal, it's very clear what they want to do.
Okay, so
they
they-
want to push.
Yep, they pick up Beastmaster, the Pugna. I've seen the Chinese teams run it in a support position as well a couple of times. I think
Which hero?
Lanham-
Which of those?
I think I saw Lanham or FY, one of those players, play this
Radiant
position
team
for Pugna
ban.
back at TI. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm not too sure if that's something that these teams have picked up upon, if like they've tried to do and they've tried to accomplish. Anyway, just a 5. They have to address this Beastmaster and this Pugna pick.
Dire
So far, the
team
heroes, they
ban.
don't really have enough wave clear. They're starting to realize what the draft could look like from Portal Esports, and they ban out Luna, but the Terrorblade is still in. And I think that Justify are going to need to pick up some solid answers in terms of at least de-pushing the side of Portal Esports. If it is an Ogre Magi,
Radiant
they
team
can look to
ban.
get themselves a Winter Wyvern, but then they'd be stuck with 2 position 5 heroes on the Witch Doctor and the Winter Wyvern. So I don't think that's a very good idea. On the contrary, they could also look to get themselves a Nyx Assassin. Nyx is one of those few heroes that can actually
Nyx
do not
is-
do bad against these pushing base lineups because he
He's-
can set up quite well.
He's actually good versus the Pugna.
Yeah, good versus the Pugna
10
as well.
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
But also the fact that you're just so freaking good against
5
heroes that want to push
seconds
early on. You just
remaining.
provide an initiation, you provide
Radiant
that 2.6
team
second
pick.
stun, and you have the cover of the invis. So, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if Justify decide to go for that.
Yeah.
Dire team
They
pick.
also have the option of going back to the
Axe.
Magnus, but it seems that they're going to pick up the Axe. So this is what it seems like to me. They're going to run the Witch Doctor and the Axe in the off lane. That seems to be the plan. A pretty strong dual lane. I remember it being played a couple of patches ago. It used to be hot stuff back then. Just throw down the Maledict and throw the Battle Hunger together. And I think eventually Wish Doctor did
10
receive a
seconds
nerf to
remaining.
Maledict cooldowns. So
Yeah,
it is slightly worse now, but
Five
it's worse,
seconds
but
remaining.
I mean,
it's still a
you
possibility.
don't have the opportunity to be aggressive all the time.
Radiant
but,
team pick.
you just have to be a little bit more careful as to when you want to put the cask and the Maledict to use. Portal, they're going to pick up the Ursa. It's very clear that they want to lane this versus the Axe. Shut down the Axe in the laning phase itself. Good versus the Ogre. The Maledict, sure, it hurts early on, but in the later stages of the game, once the Ursa hits 6 at the very least, he's going to have damage reduction, and that's going to help us to the Witch Doctor.
10 seconds
Next pick
remaining.
for Justify. I like the Axe in a sense that
5 seconds remaining.
he can fight on a low cooldown. When lineups want to
Dire
push
team pick.
early on,
Wind Ranger at your service.
you want to be able to fight early, and the Axe definitely affords them that option. You're not restricted to a very big cooldown. You want to match Portal when they go and try and take your structures.
Radiant
You want to
team
fight.
ban.
Axe is also one of those heroes
Templar
that farms
Assassin.
the jungle, skips the wave, so gets that quick blink dagger, maybe even the Vanguard and the Crimson Guard, or even the Pipe, which is going to just stall the pushes coming up from Portal and make that push a little bit weaker. And they've got the Wind Ranger as well. So there's some very clear generic mid laner, does do well in most matchups, can hold her own.
Yep.
And Portal,
10
they're going to respond by
seconds
picking up the
remaining.
Templar.
I'm
This
slightly
is-
surprised by the Templar Assassin
Yeah,
pickup, to say the
there is
least.
damage
5
over time.
seconds
Yeah, and
remaining.
on top of that, you pick it up into a Wind Ranger, and this Wind Ranger is probably going to be going mid. So there's that, something that Justify are working with. And the Wind Ranger is also pretty good against the Templar Assassin, courtesy of the Focus Fire. You can just melt through those refraction charges like it's nothing.
Yep. Uh, Yeah, exactly. You can just melt away at the refraction charges.
Yep.
And
Nothing much of the TA can do about it. It forces you to itemize into tankier items. Maybe get yourself an Assault Cuirass sometime in the game. Maybe even look towards some weird Lincoln Sphere or something like that. And the more defensive you have to build on
Dire
TA,
team
the
ban.
worse your game is going to be as a TA. Because as a TA, the way you scale into the late game is by just building so much damage that the enemy can't deal with you. You want those big ticket items if you're looking to hit the late game. I don't think they're going to do that on the side of Portal Esports, considering the fact that they have a Beastmaster, but they still need to sort of have that late game insurance going for them. And as of now, it doesn't look good. If this game goes over 35 minutes and Justify
10
pick up something like
seconds
the Morphling,
remaining.
this game could be absolutely atrocious for the side of Portal
5
Esports.
seconds
'Cause
remaining.
you look at the lineup, they don't have a lot of stuns. I can literally say that they have only one disabled so far, and that's on the Beastmaster. That's the only stun they have, just for the record.
Mhm.
They have no other way of catching heroes, and I think that's going to be a bit of a problem. They could even just pick up something slippery like a Slark, and it wouldn't be too bad here. In fact, I really like Slark here now that I think about it. I mean, sure, it's
For
not the
Justify.
Yep, for Justify, it's not too bad against Portal Esports' lineup. Sure, the Pugna can be a bit of a pain considering his burst damage and the AoE Nether Blast. But outside of that, he is not too bad at picking off all these isolated heroes and getting the side of Portal Esports in the downtime of the pushers. Because if you look at Portal Esports, if they start committing to a push and then they have to retreat, wait for another objective for something like Roshan, Slark can be a real nuisance in that time period, simply because they don't have the tools they need to control him at the moment. Sure, you can keep your teammates alive with the help of the Decrepify, but I'm sure that Justify, being the, lesser cooldown reliant lineup among the two, are going to be able to exploit that factor on the side of Portal Esports.
Mhm.
I think the biggest problem of Portal Esports as of now is the fact that they have only one stun on the Beastmaster. So they're gonna have to play around that quite well. They need to make sure that each stun counts, or they need to make sure that the Ursa and TA and the Pugna get so big that it doesn't matter that they have only one stun and they can just roll over the game. Now, if the TA has a good lane, there is something that Portal Esports could do, and that's just take the first stages. And then with the help of the first stages, they can get almost all the outer tier 1 and tier 2 towers and
Dire
continue farming
team
on
pick.
their side of the map and just choke Justify in their own pace. Just make sure that they don't have space, make sure that they don't have farm, they don't have items. And eventually the net worth advantage is going to be quite apparent and they will lose the structure slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Portal Esports, though, on the other hand, I mean,
Radiant team pick.
I don't know what they'll do if the same thing were to happen to them. They don't seem to have the best comeback mechanics. They do pick up the Meepo. So it's actually going to be a support Beastmaster or a support Ursa. That's interesting.
I think Beastmaster and Pugna are the two supports here.
Okay, that's slightly weird, but I'm not sure if picking the Meepo into the axe was the best idea. Now, Meepo is a lot of magical damage, so
10
he isn't
seconds
particularly
remaining.
worried about the Ursa. But the Meepo can't initiate onto any of these heroes. Like,
5
depending on what the
seconds
last score is
remaining.
on the side of Justify, if Meepo really needs to initiate
Choose
upon him,
your
well,
hero.
okay, there you go. There's the Timber Saw as well. So there's the reply to the Meepo. That's one hero that Meepo in particular struggles against, because sure, he has a lot of burst damage in the form of Poof, but until he has an Ethereal Blade, he can't really take down a Timber Saw. And there could be some issues that Portal Esports run into regarding damage-wise to take down this Timber Saw. They have the Pugna, but the Pugna is being played in the support position, so I don't really expect him to offer a lot of burst damage. I also don't see any synergy between the Pugna and all the rest of the heroes on the side of Portal Esports, apart from the fact that they come online early and like to push hard. If you look at Decrepify, it amplifies only poof damage this game, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I want to say that there could have been a much better
10
pick than the
seconds
Pugna coming in. Maybe
remaining.
the Nature's Prophet, who knows?
The
You just
Nature's
wanna push
Prophet was
early.
banned. The Nature's Prophet was banned.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It was banned. I mean, it was banned towards the end of the draft.
Oh, okay. But yeah, still, if you want to push, I think there are better heroes to first pick than the Pugna.
I agree. I'm more a fan of
Shadow Shaman or something.
more a fan of support NP here than any of those heroes. But okay,
Yeah. I also think that
I think it's very possible that Portal might just be slightly disrespecting the opponents here with this draft.
okay, could be possible, but the more I look at Justify's draft, I ask myself, what's the comeback story if they don't win the early game? And I think I don't have an answer for that. If you look at the heroes, outside of the Wind Ranger, no one can take towers. Timbersaw can't hit buildings. The Ogre and the Witch Doctor can't hit buildings, of course. They do no tower damage, absolutely none. And it's only really
Prepare for
maybe
battle.
the Timbersaw with the plus 100 damage talent.
Yeah, the Timbersaw with the plus 100 damage.
Yeah. You just stand on the high ground with a Shiva's
what
guard,
kind
your
of
reactive
scam
armor,
you
armor
running
stacks,
here?
and a bloodlust, and hope that you can take down the building all by yourself.
Yep. I think I get asked this a lot.
Now
Is to
that's
take a
what
look
I'm
at ranks
talking about.
if I can. So I'm just gonna quickly check ranks.
They don't seem to be visible. I think they need to be in a friends list to check.
Okay. I've done this in the past, but okay, never mind. But yeah, both teams are familiar with each other. Friendly amount of banter going on in chat. Where does the Wind Ranger go? So it's a safe lane Wind Ranger, starting out with the Raid Pan, probably building towards that Aquila early on. Meepo
30
chilling in
seconds to
the
battle.
offlane. Who is the support here? Beastmaster is one of them.
Yeah, he's got himself a clarity on observer board, so I presume it's going to be him. But he also has a pool tango.
This is a real frickin'
Beastmaster in a support position, not quite sure what he offers.
Mm,
Doesn't have the best amount of armor, level 1. Has decent base damage and has rolling axes, but yeah, just look
The
at him. He's
battle
actually going to lose the
begins.
right click battle over time. The Maledict gets thrown out, that's going to push him back.
So I believe that's 3 bounty rooms going the way of Justify, but they're pursuing Joker. I don't think they can really bring down the Witch Doctor, but they're just going to try and force him all the way back to the mid lane.
I mean, look at the Ursa. He's on his case. He really wants to switch Doctor, and with the Orb of Venom slow, he can actually get him.
Can he?
Yeah, he can. Come on,
No.
Ursa.
No, he can't. He can't. I mean, he's going to miss CS. Probably wants to TP, but Joker's not taking cask, so it's just going to TP back to lane. And this is the man who he's supposed to counter or make life difficult for the Axe.
Yeah.
Mid lane Temple Assassin versus the Timbersaw. I think once the Timbersaw gets the Chakram, that's a little bit of damage over time. He should be able to bring down the DA. Down bottom Ogre, Wind Ranger. This is a really difficult lane.
Yeah, especially for the Ogre too, because you think about his tankiness, all of that comes from his armor at level 1. He's quite bad against magical nukes, and Poof and Nether Blast, those are magical damage. Not much you can do about that when you're the Ogre. Probably get yourself some extra region in the form of the Salve and the extra tangos, but I don't think they're going to do much. Well, regardless, he is applying pressure, trying to do his job, just tanking up. But the safe lane Wind Ranger is what really confuses me, because as a Wind Ranger, you want to be getting levels. You don't necessarily want to be getting that much farm. Because with the help of levels, you max out your power shot, you max out your shackle shot, get yourself a javelin, and with a focus fire, you can pretty much take down most targets before level 15.
Absolutely. I mean, if she just runs at anyone with focus fire this game, at least the Pugna or the Meepo, they're certainly easy kills. Meepo's got to be careful. Shackle to a 3. He's going to be able to walk away for now. Up top, Beastmaster as well as the Ursa returning the favor. They want to bring down Sinner. First blood going the way of Da Vinci's, and he will pay with his own life though, as Joker did have the Maledict tossed out upon the Ursa. But he does get first blood, gets himself a little bit of HP, he can come back to the lane. Joker getting more for the kill onto the Ursa than the Ursa did for the first blood. But yeah, back and forth, it's the Witch Doctor who gets himself some alone time, some EXP, and it seems as a Portal, they just want to keep this aggression going. They're going to try and force Sinner out of lane.
Yeah, the problem is that the Ursa at level 1 is actually not that great against zoning the Axe because 3D swipes times out rather quickly, and on top of that, it doesn't do that much damage. If you remember, it was nerfed from 15 damage to 12 damage, and over time, that thing adds up because Ursa, he really does damage by adding those 3D swipe stacks. So he's going to be doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 less damage per hit.
He's got to be careful. The Battle Hunger though, it's on the Ursa and Da Vinci, which is going for the kill. He wants Sinner, should be able to bring him down. The Beastmaster dropping low as well. He'll turn towards the Witch Doctor. He's got the Earth Shock, should find Joker. Joker dead. Beastmaster gets out alive. Didn't manage to TP back home. And slight miscoordination between the Axe and the Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
The Battle Hunger on one, the Maledict on the other Meepo. He's got 2 of him now.
This kill is not possible. Yeah.
They went for the decrep into Poof. Didn't quite work out as they were expecting.
I think there was slight miscoordination back up top as well. The Ursa didn't really get his last right click off onto Axe. He cancelled it mid-animation, and as a result, he had to dive the tower, and he knew that he would die if he had to dive the tower with Battle Hunger upon him to get the kill onto the Axe. But regardless, he did find the Witch Doctor following up, so it wasn't all that bad for him. In the mid lane though, this seems to be a problem. The Templar Assassin just completely outlasting the Timbersaw, making sure that he has no farm. And because the side blades were affecting the Timbersaw and not the direct right clicks from the TA, he's not going to build reactive armor
tower
charges.
is under attack.
Pure damage.
Yep, pure damage. That's what it does. I wonder if... Oh, the Ursa's dropping quite low. I wonder if the Templar Assassin ever considers buying a Silver Edge this game, because think about the Timbersaw, the only way you really kill him once he has a bunch of farm is by taking off reactive armor charges, or maybe by getting yourself a Bloodthorn.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah.
I mean, who builds it really? Who can
build a Silver? The Meepo can build a Silver Edge, I think, this game.
It's I mean, it is possible.
It is a pretty good Meepo item. Shadow Blade instead of the Blink Dagger. I mean, then you sort of like initiation on the side of Portal Esports. But the good thing is he's just looking to push with the lineup anyway. You have a Beastmaster, so it doesn't really matter that you don't have initiation. You just show up to a tower and you bash it to the ground.
Mid lane, Vanilla. 1 point hit, the decrypt is going to force out the DP.
Okay, I mean that's time wasted for the side of Chester 5. Meepo has to be careful though.
This is a real freaking embarrassment.
It's pretty damn tanky fortunately, because he has a decent amount of base armor.
Yeah.
11 armor at level 4, courtesy of the couple of Wraithbands, but still, I think Meepo could use base armor reduction.
I'll take that.
Enough.
And I mean, clear distinction between semi-final number 1 and semi-final number 2. The way both teams contest bounty nodes. Die nearly gets the kill, but Joker has the salve, and now the Beastmaster might pay with his life. The call is there. Taunted, he will fall. He did die for a noble cause. I believe
he died for the... didn't get the bounty rune.
He died trying to fight for a noble cause. Unfortunately, didn't come out on top. But still, I believe that's 2 bounty runes for the side of Portal. At least 2. Yep.
Mid lane. Oh, he almost had a side blade spell. If he got that there, he would have had the kill. But fortunately, he doesn't. Ursa is out of region in the top lane. He only has a bottle, I think. He doesn't have extra tangles.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I don't think the bottle is going to be enough, because side runes only spawn every 5 minutes. The mid lane rune is probably going to get picked up by Timbersaw, who has the Timber Chain. Or even if it doesn't get picked up, I don't think the Ursa can afford to leave the lane to get the rune just for the extra regen. He's going to miss out on a lot of creeps and XP.
He's actually doing that. He's going to leave the lane for the 6-minute rune, or maybe just the shrine.
Yeah, he's just gonna go shrine back up. Has a salve waiting for him as well.
Illusion.
So he's gonna be okay in terms of farm and
but
HP.
So far, I mean, all 3 cores from the side of Portal doing really well for themselves. Vanilla, I don't know how this gang happens. Maybe the illusions take aggro? Nope.
Yeah, that's quite an ambitious play by Vanilla. He can't really do that until it's level 6. Even though the Timbersaw is still
Up
not have
top,
a
they've got to be careful. Da Vinci, he's got the boots, doesn't have the face boots, but he should find Sin about the Fire Blast. Will hold him in place. He still wants to chase. He's got to be careful. The Beastmaster, he's going to tick down to the Maledict, and now Da Vinci a bit too far forward, slowed down by the Ignite. Might be next, but he's got a salve, and that's going to keep him alive.
Yeah, Da Vinci does end up like not really accomplishing much. Does force out the TP, but fortunately for them, I think they found the Beastmaster, didn't they? Yeah,
they did. The Beastmaster died to the Maledict.
And now the Ursa might die as well. The Beastmaster is back. Witchstalker has to be careful. He is walking into melee range of die, but he just ends up facing his time. Now the Ursa are gonna get chopped down by the axe.
Each of Ursa's claws is like a little
axe. It's supposed to be
axe.
bad for him.
Yeah.
He's actually doing quite well. Now
Radiant's
Beastmaster
bottom
doesn't have
tower
a
is under
shield,
attack.
but not gonna pursue too much forward.
Yeah, but look at this bottom lane. They forced win range out of the lane. Primarily because the Ogre's been setting top so much, and immediately Vanilla starts applying pressure. 2 points in the Nether Blast, enough for him to really bring down that tier 1 tower. And I think I'm mid lane. The Timbersaw is dropping low. Arctic Monkey wants to chase, and the damage over time from the side traps are going to be enough. But yeah, it's 3 points in the Battle Hunger that's really making the difference, but it's not enough to keep you alive. The call, enough to give him a little bit of armor, allowing him to get away. But Dotish has nowhere to go, and the axes, they're going to bring down the axe. Da Vinci gets the Ogre as well. The side of Jester 5, they're bleeding across, and I mean across the entire map.
Mid lane, Timbersaw dropping really low. He might still have the tank. Oh no, he didn't get the last strike to off, but the trap.
The trap is going to miss, but the melt hit.
There you go.
Violent.
That's going to be the death of Timbersaw once again. And now it's going to be a walk of shame back to the mid lane.
They
So he's
might
gonna
find Da Vinci. How much can Battle Hunger and Maledict do?
It can kill the Ursa.
3 points.
It can kill the Ursa. It's gonna. He's dead.
Look at him limping.
Spare my cubs.
He's all shades of purple, red, and whatever.
Invisibility.
Meepo. He doesn't really care too much, in all honesty. Even if he gets shackled up, the only
He
way
doesn't.
Ranger brings him down is if she has a maelstrom, but she doesn't.
Yeah, probably need something like a Javelin and a +1 to bring down the Maple. For now, though, they're focusing their attention on this top lane, but they want to bring down the Beastmaster. They're going to deal with the Meepo later. For now, they'll try and shut down Portal in their own safe lane. And they're diving the Beastmaster deep. DPs are starting to come in. It is the Ursa. He's got the Earthshock, sees the axe, might be able to bring him down. The Beastmaster falls over time to the Maledict. Dotish a bit too deep all by himself, might fall as well. Fury Swap starting to add up, and the face boots are there as well, but a quick cast.
Dire's
Is
top
that
tower
really
is
enough
under
for the Ogre to
attack.
get away? Nope, not even a secondary bounce onto the Ursa. As he clean up, find himself 2 quick kills in the top lane. This tier 1 tower is going to fall rather quickly as well.
And all the while, Meepos is farming away. He's not even concerned about all the fighting that's going on. So this is Portal Esports just playing 4v5 so far.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Da Vinci once again finds another
Consider
kill.
yourself
Ursa,
lucky.
He has to be
But
careful.
their
Because
mother would
Maledict
have
is
done
on
much
the Ursa, but
worse.
he doesn't really care too much. He can just go forward, get the kill, get the slap down. That's going to be the end of
Your life cycle
just like that. Portal Esports showing why they pick these
is going
heroes.
to be good.
And the 10-minute bounty runes are spawning.
Let's see if they remember to contest the bounties. Da Vinci remembers.
They're going to pick up both the bounties up, down, bottom. The Pugna's got to be careful. Good one. He's going to find a kill onto the Pugna. That's Vanilla dead. Bounty dudes.
Going to be good.
No one has gone for them just yet. But yeah, admit this Timbersaw is really struggling. I mean, take a look at the difference in levels. The Templar Assassin level 11, the Timbersaw level 6.
Selfish.
That's twice as many levels. And nearly twice as many kills. It was
Wash your
7
blood from my
They will
claws.
bring down the Beastmaster while they will lose the Witchstock up top. Back it made though.
Oh,
Decrypt, Blast, Life Drain, enough magic damage, reactive armor, be damned while back at top yet again. Da Vinci. He wants to go, but he's not going to. He might just go. He might go.
He can go. He has
He's got the
face
face
boots
boots.
again.
Yeah, he's going. He's got the Earthshock. He is in range. The call deep connect.
The Ocho connected as well, but
Yeah.
oh no, he's not.
Radiant's
controlling
middle
forward,
tower
unfortunately.
is under attack.
Axe, very surviving, but it's gonna
Radiant's
just
middle
but in the
tower
mid lane,
has fallen.
This is where things start getting really hard for the side of Chester 5 because your Timbersaw, he's level 6, but he doesn't
Radiant's
have any tanky
middle
items. He
tower
can't
is
go on
under
any
attack.
of these heroes, and the Pugna is also level 6. So the Pugna, with the help of the Decrepify and all the burst damage that he
Was
has,
kind
can
of you.
always take down the Timbersaw. That's something that he has
Dire's
to be
bottom
afraid
tower is
of
under
every single
attack.
time. So he can't farm freely anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
The Ursa counters the Timbersaw quite hard. And
Raw.
look at this.
for the Witch Doctor. Could be enough, but TP's are starting to come in. The call is there. Da Vinci though, he'll bring down Joker. Joker dead. That might fall as well. The Maldic and the Timber Chain enough for Sinner. He's gonna be a casualty of boys. He's gonna end up falling multiple TPs towards the top lane. Maybe with the shackle, they'll finally bring down this outside. And indeed, his unstoppable streak taken away.
That's
Justify.
a big kill.
They'll punch back.
Yeah, that's a big kill, but the Wind Ranger, she's going for a 4-star. I
What?
mean, this is debatable. I mean, on one hand, it's good against the Meepo, but you have no damage on the Wind Ranger. Is that how you want to play this game? Don't think the answer is yes to that question.
Probably they might just lose the Ogre as well. The 3
Radiant's
Meepos, 1
bottom
Pugna,
tower is
and a
under
very
attack.
dead Ogre. But TP's are starting to come in
Dire
Sinner.
structures are fortified.
Many points in that Battle Hunger, 1 point in the call. He's copying a lot of magical
Radiant
damage.
are
Might
scanning.
incur some more, but the Shackle Shot is there. Meepo being focused, 7 still alive, still healthy. He's diving even deeper for this. While back at mid, they've lost the Timber Saw, but 7 wants the Wind Ranger, won't
Radiant's
find it. The
bottom
dunk
tower
is there.
is under
Sinner
attack.
finds himself
On the outer tier
quick
one, on tier two.
2 kills
Dire
in the
team
top lane.
Their side of the map,
Well,
and just
totally
shows
just
justify
overcommit a bit
their
too
own
much and
pace.
they pay the
Make sure
price.
they don't
Radiant's
have
top
space, make sure
tower
that they
is
don't
under
have-
attack.
Not quite sure
They don't
what
have
the
items.
plans are,
And
and eventually the net worth advantage is going to be quite imbalanced, and they will lose the structure.
Arctic Monkey got to be careful.
Totally
That does a
sports
lot
on
for
the
Da
other
Vinci.
hand.
With the
I
Fury
mean,
Swipes and the overpower,
Radiant-
has
Radiant
enough to bring down
structures are
I don't
Joker.
know what they'll do
Meepo!
if
And
the
a
same thing
reflection
were to
is
happen to
coming
them.
up.
They don't seem to have the
Cooldown
best comeback
show. I mean,
mechanics. They do pick up
she's
the
gonna be
Meepo.
okay. What's some of
So it's
those
actually going to be a support Beastmaster or
instances
support
of damage
Buster?
coming out from the Maldit and the Death Ward.
Yeah.
Sinner hasn't got his blink. Da Vinci has, and he did blink forward, but he's got back up the row. Is there? They bring down the Timbersaw. Enrage available. Sinner might be next. Pugna joining the fight, and Da Vinci is going to find himself a double kill, and they aren't even getting started just yet. They move on to Dotish, but he's got the Fire Blast and Arctic Monkey. Jumps forward,
Radiant's
doesn't
top
have a
tower
Death
is
Blade,
under
has a
attack.
Blink Dagger. That's enough for the Ogre.
Yeah. And Wind Ranger, all the while, still farming away. No damage item just yet. Could have had
Radiant's
the javelin,
top
could have been
tower
gone,
is
could
under
have been going
attack.
around the map killing heroes, but instead invested in
look
an
at it
Aquila,
go!
which is not bad if you're safe laning, but does
Joker's dead.
Radiant's top tower
Doesn't have
is
the
under
enrage,
attack.
doesn't need it, doesn't even need the Earthshock. Sinner going
Dire's
for
middle
the
tower
Vanguard.
is under attack.
Meepo just
Radiant's
gets
top
Roshan by
tower
himself
is
and
fallen.
Justify, I mean, looking completely clueless in this game 1. And I mean, they're on the brink of elimination. They probably want to move on to the final. And things are only going from bad to worse as 3 heroes converge upon that Ursa. They'll finally bring him down with the Culling Blade. While elsewhere, it seems as if both supports were trying to bring down the Wind Ranger. Axe is committed. Draw not available. It's unlikely they catch her, but she walks back up into the high ground.
Dire's
The decrep is there. She
bottom
lands
tower
the
is under
shackle
attack.
and the power shot. And even the ancient Prowler Shaman wants in, but the Wind Ranger will fall.
yeah. Unfortunately, the Wind Ranger ran out of mana
nether
when she
reaches
used
out.
a shackle shot and a power shot. So no way of getting away from the Beastmaster, who had just enough mana for 1 more axes. And it seems that the side of 4
Joker, he's got to be careful. He's got the death ward, but Vanilla with the life drink just manning up, doing a fair amount of damage, but not enough. Die, though.
You got
The
to
auto attack
bite
should be able to
to
secure
eat.
the kill.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say now that at this point, the side of Justify, they're not fighting against 3 cores and 2 supports, they're fighting against 5 cores. Meepo, he's a kill threat. Pugna can solo kill heroes all by himself. Beastmaster too, with a rod and a medallion of courage, he can easily kill off the Wind Ranger if he finds her sitting alone.
Yeah.
I think the silver lining for the Wind Ranger is the fact that she has an Aquila.
Radiant's middle tower
Speaking of
is under
Aquilas,
attack.
1 for each Meepo on the Meepo.
Gold and sweet.
I am not kidding.
Okay. Maybe he finds the timber, so yes, he will. 7 gets the kill, but does he get away with it? Good one there with the shackles, but the poof available. Meepo's out of there. Axe needs that blink dagger badly. He needs a he's actually going for the blade mail, not the blink first.
Yeah, that is. I don't think that's the best idea. I think he really needs a blink
Look at
dagger
this.
to
Meepo
initiate.
just on the high ground, providing so much vision and information. Finds both supports and ouch! The Witch Doctor, he's gonna melt. They've got 2, the Yoga and the Axe back up. Not arriving, but 7 not afraid. He's all by himself. He'll man up with the Axe. The call though might be the dead of him, and with the dunk, they'll bring down the Meepo once. Can they do it again? The shackles are there. They found the Pugna this time around, but it is Justify who want to disengage. But there comes Da Vinci with the blink dagger. He'll bring down the Axe. The wind run, it's meaningless because Beastmaster, he's got the row, and with the
Radiant's
blast, they
middle
should
tower
bring
is
down
under
good
attack.
one as well. And then not even done just yet. They bring down the Timbersaw. They're searching for more. Dotish runs into the trees, and the trees will not protect him today.
Man, Justify is just getting stomped over completely. It's just the fact that they lost the lanes so hard. I mean, if they managed to do okay in lanes, maybe have a blink dagger, they had a very good chance of taking this game. But
This is going
It's-
to be good.
it's just a lack of laning discipline, I guess you can say, on the side of Chester 5, coupled with a couple of itemization mistakes. I think the Wind Ranger going for a 4-staff is not the best use of the money that she was making.
Radiant's
I think
bottom
Maelstrom was a lot
tower
better
is under
in this game.
attack.
I
Radiant
really need that Maelstrom to
structures
output
are
damage. I mean,
fortified.
just look at the cores on the side of... yeah, I mean, everyone else is going to die.
Yep. I think Da Vinci doesn't care. He's got the enrage, and yeah, with that many Meepos spawning away, the axe dies in a fraction of a second. Same goes with the Timbersaw. And the
Radiant's
Ogre left for
bottom
last
tower
will
is
be
under
dealt with. Oh, they're not even done. Not even get started. They want each and every one from the side of Jester 5 takes a hit in that bottom lane. As they all end up falling, the Pugna and the
Radiant's
Beastmaster
bottom
pushing
tower
mid.
is
I
under
even saw a
attack.
Meteor Hammer. Is that the Meepo?
That is the Meepo.
Okay.
I mean, fair
Radiant's
enough,
bottom
offlane Meepo
tower
with
has
the Meteor
fallen.
Hammer just pushing buildings.
Radiant's
and
middle
pounding
tower
away
is
with
under
his
attack.
4 Aquilas on 4 of his fingers. Nice good.
Radiant's
Not
bottom
makes it
barracks
better.
are Radiant's
Himself
middle
another kill on the
tower
Witch
has
Doctor.
fallen.
How you lasted.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Even the Ursa is building a Meteor Hammer at this point. I mean, this is what
Dire's
disrespect
top
looks like.
tower
I mean,
is under
if I were
attack.
to open a textbook and quote an example, I would quote
Radiant's
Portland
middle
Sports
tower
versus
has
Chester 5. New Arena 28.
I mean,
Asunder.
the Oxford Dictionary will probably be adding this weekly as an example.
Dire's top tower is
Definitely.
under attack.
And if
Radiant's
they don't,
middle
I'll make sure that
barracks are under
they get to know
attack.
about this. But
Yeah, structures
Radiant's
falling.
middle barracks has fallen.
What's the player? I mean, they're
Radiant's
trying to
middle
fight.
barracks
What
has
you
fallen.
probably want to hope for is that portal away.
there is this one button that you can type on your keyboard twice. It does a magical thing. It ends the game for you, and I think that's what Chester 5 need to do at
No,
this point.
I
in all
honestly think that
honesty.
if you think about it, they've been a bit cocky with their item choices. Like this should definitely
Okay,
yeah.
this
That's
is
gonna
a
be
big
fun.
deal.
So you can there are moments like these where you will find opportunities to punish indiscipline, and that's what they need to do.
Yeah, but they need to do this several times over. They can't just afford to do it once and hopefully hope to have a fair fight. It's just not gonna happen. Sure, you killed one TA, but all the other 4 heroes on the side of Portal Esports are equivalent to cores at this point, and they're still farming away. So sure, it's like cutting off the head of a hydra. I mean, sure, you kill one, but then 4 other grows and like 2 others grow in its place in the meantime. And the Ursa, he has a Meteor Hammer, in fact, and so
The
after
Kaya.
the pick off, he can look to push. Yeah.
Kaya does so much damage. He's gonna go in, and the Ogre, he should fall as well. He should be able to sidestep that. Good one, TPs in, sees the Pugna. Da Vinci is who they want. The Glimmer Cape keeping a bit Stalker alive, and that dead pod might do a lot of work. Da Vinci might
Radiant's
just fall.
top
His
tower
enrage
is
did
under
wear off,
attack.
and the Timbersaw smells blood. Helps to secure the kill. The Ursa dead, but the Meteor Hammer finds the meat for another. The Ogre will end up falling. Vanilla still alive on the Pugna. Good one. He walked into the Nether Blast. That's the death of the Wind Ranger and 3 Meepos. They're trying to deal with these 3 Meepos, and they will actually
Radiant's top
succeed.
tower is
The
under
axe
attack.
along with the Timbersaw enough, but there comes Arctic Monkey. One meld hit enough to bring down the axe, and the Pugna enough to bring down the Timbersaw, but Arctic Monkey will chip in. And now there's a Meteor Hammer on the Templar Assassin as well.
The Meteor Hammer, there's a double damage zone, and there is GG well played written, I think, soon enough on this side of Chester 5's. I like
It's important to note that Meteor Hammers don't stack, so
they have to chain it one after the other.
well, they do set up for kills like that in the row of Witch Doctor. He should
Radiant's
fall as
middle
well.
tower is
He's
under
dead,
attack.
good supports
My
there.
blades and my mind are as one.
Pugna, with the help of the Kaya, should be hurting those towers real bad with another blast.
And there comes Mr.
4
Meteor
Aquilas.
Hammer. 3 Aquilas.
Radiant's middle tower
Aquilas
has
now. He
fallen.
solo lost
Radiant's
one, I
middle
see.
tower
Well, the
has
Ancient,
fallen.
that's all that stands between Portal and a slot in the finale. What can Justify really do to stop this? I mean, the Meepos will just hold them in their fountain. The Earthbinds are starting to wear off. The Meteor Hammer tossed out on the Ancient.
Axe
They'll
has given
fight
up.
until the end. The Pugna will walk ahead and probably pay the price.
The axe is
Radiant's
just
ancient
standing
is
over
under
there. He's
attack.
Just as confused as we are.
Well, Wind Ranger wants to go in. Arctic Monkey's got to be careful. The Dead Pod will do a fair bit of damage, but it doesn't matter. GG, well played is the call. And Portal Esports will be a second finalist for the Dew Gamers Arena Lahore Dota-2 Qualifier. My name is Vivek. With me was Floki. We've had a blast casting these games for you. But now Tea Time and Grim Death will take you through the final. That's it from us. We're going to cut across to a short break, and then we'll be back with the grand final.
watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me, drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. All that we had, I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me, so close to the edge of something so worth it. You had the world right at your feet, and almost is all we'll ever be.
Radiant team ban.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known.
Dire team ban.
We're done with listening to other casters. We're here for the local talent, and right now, this is where all the local talent is here to shine. The LAN finals of the Duo Gamers Arena begin. It's going to be Portal Esports versus Survey Corps. You haven't heard my voice in a while. I've been away for quite a bit, but I'm glad to be back. This is tea time, and I'm going to be joined by none other than Grimheart right now in this cast. Excited to get into it.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fantastic. I mean,
10
who wouldn't be doing
seconds
fantastically
remaining.
right now? Portal, they've got one of the most celebrated lineups. They did really
5
well
seconds
against
remaining.
WESG. They ended up going down to Prometheus in a best of
Dire
3, but they
team
took a
pick.
game off of them. That's important to keep in mind. But right now, they're against the Survey Corps, and Portal, well, it seems like they're starting things off with a bit of confidence as they go for the techies. Dark Willow coming
Radiant
out for Survey.
team pick.
And you know what? I'm so glad that I don't have to analyze this because I've got Grimheart here for that.
You must be mistaken when you think I can analyze a techie's game. A techie's game usually goes on for like what, 60 minutes if the techies is able to defend the tower successfully. And I think by the time it hits 30 minutes, I'm gonna be out of breath
10 seconds
to be
remaining.
able to analyze any further.
I feel I'll be out of patience by the time it hits 30,
5
to be
seconds
perfectly honest.
remaining.
But right now, Vengeful Spirit and Dark Willow, those are two heroes we can analyze.
Radiant team
You know what we'll do?
ban.
We're going to forget about Techie for a while. We're going to forget that he exists. We're going to say, you know what? Let's ignore this entire draft.
Actually,
Dark
like the
Willow,
wench
Beastmaster
pick,
picked up.
Dire
the wench
team
pick
ban.
seems so in
Radiant team
sync with
ban.
techies because you can just swap into the techies mines or the techie remote mines and blast whoever is trying to come up the high ground or whatever, and it's for sure gonna make the other person sad.
So what you're trying to say is right now, they're going for a Pudge pick. And I agree with you, actually. They could be going for that. Portal, I mean, you know, at the end of the day,
Dire team
Portal's
ban.
definitely the second best team, maybe even the best. There's some conversation about that, but that's what Duo Gamers Arena is here to find out. But they feel like they can mess around a little bit against the Survey Corps, but let's see.
Dire
Now,
team
meanwhile,
pick.
Beastmaster and Dark Willow being picked up. Beastmaster giving you a lot of vision. Dark Willow used to be very good at early game
Radiant
fighting in the
team
off
pick.
lane, but was nerfed to oblivion. Portal, though, in the meanwhile, they pick up a Leshrac. That should be Aeon's hero, if I'm not wrong.
Aeon is Arctic Monkey, right?
Yes, he is.
Beastmaster and Dark Willow are a good pairing as well. With Beastmaster's ulti,
10
the Dark Willow can
seconds
just stand
remaining.
next to you and cast her Willow thingy and
5
shred you to
seconds
pieces.
remaining.
That's, of course, that's a little bit later on, but I think where I'm interested to see is how they'll be pairing in the offlane. It's safe to assume Beastmaster will be playing offlane with the Dark Willow, and definitely a hero that's very strong in the offlane, but whether
Dire
or not
team
there'll be
pick.
any kill potential is something yet to be seen. Now, Beastmaster is also good against techies because it gives you a lot of spawns, so you can try and bait out the mines, you can try and send that boar forward and just trigger the mines early on. Omni Knight, though, another hero
Aeon
pretty
is
good against techies with the repel.
Definitely, it'll be easier for them to breach high ground against the remote mines because the repel will
10
be able to
seconds
fend off
remaining.
all the stacked damage of the remote mines. And
5
the
seconds
Radiant team
remaining.
won't have to commit to large BKBs early on, which will give
Radiant
them
team pick.
time to farm up some damage items instead.
Dire team ban.
Invoker.
Okay, Axe and Invoker coming through. I'm surprised that the Axe is let through this far forward. It seems like Survey was a bit too worried about Aeon's pocket pick of the TA. Not really a pocket pick, but just a signature hero of his. Axe, though, a hero that's incredibly strong in the current metagame. It's being played a lot. In particular, if I remember
Radiant
correctly,
team
it's
ban.
being played by the Southeast Asian region quite a bit. It's very good with the Battle Hunger changes. Incredibly strong in the off lane. Now, I'm interested to see who will be with the Axe, but maybe even more interested to see how Invoker will
Radiant
be doing
team
in this
pick.
game. As Alina gets banned out, along with Spectre being the last ban from Portal, Invoker's an interesting hero over here. It's a good pairing with the Omni Knight, especially. It helps a lot versus the Leshracs damage when you've got the Omni Knight to repel up the Invoker. Invoker can kind of just go ham in teamfights once he's gotten some damage, but maybe a secondary physical damage dealer is still somewhat lacking, especially when you try and synergize it with
10
Beastmaster's
seconds
inner
remaining.
rage aura.
I think when you talk about Invoker and Leshrac
5
in the lane,
seconds
though,
remaining.
Invoker is gonna win that matchup against Leshrac because Invoker has a higher base damage with not the higher base damage. He's gonna have a higher damage with if he goes Squash Exort, which usually all the Invokers these games are doing. Even if he goes Squash Vex, that's still gonna make Leshrac a bit sad because he's not gonna have enough mana to work with.
Right, so this is where I feel like in the mid lane, you also have to kind of factor in that at the end of the day, unfortunately, as much as we can analyze on what hero versus what hero, we have to give it up that it's Aeon who's playing from Portal. And he's got probably the most mid-dominant heavy style of play in Pakistan. However, that's where I'm interested to see what the Dark Willow will be doing, because Dark Willow is definitely a hero that can gank out the Leshrac. Leshrac, sure, he's got decent movement speed, but beyond that, mobility is a bit restricted in the lane. Combine that with an Invoker, the amount of damage he has, the amount of sustain. Ooh.
You may now select
Against an
your
axe?
mother.
Oh! This is bad, because see, Ghost Khan, who's Da Vinci's, is very famous for having spammed Broodmother, if I'm not mistaken, to get to 7k MMR back when 7k was first reached by a Pakistani player. It might have been Alchemist, it was either that, but I know he has spammed Broodmother at some point. He was very famous for that, even back when his MMR was slightly lower. One of the best. And Huskar versus Axe, don't know what I think about that.
Huskar is, though Axe is a good counter against Huskar, but Huskar is gonna be definitely good against Leshrac. It's the damage mitigation from Leshrac's Pulse Nova, Lightning Storm is gonna be huge for Huskar.
Yeah, but that's where you kind of have to keep in mind Broodmother's there, and single target damage is Leshrac's forte, and that's where Broodmother thrives. So Broodmother, Aeon's on techies.
I think they just
You can't swap in Captain's mode.
I was pretty sure they swapped.
Prepare.
Yeah, Aeon's on techies.
Very much.
So it looks like Leshrac's going off lane with Axe. And is the techie? No, is the Broodmother going with then?
Axe likes this very much.
Doesn't look like.
You know what we do over here? We ignore the laning stage, just like we ignored the techies in the draft, and we focus a bit more on what exactly is going on the Radiant side. As that's slightly more predictable. We've of course got Huskar who's going down towards the safe lane, but the Omni Knight being put into the core position is of course something I personally am very fond of against a lineup like what Dire has to bring to the table. You want to get a few more levels and whatnot. Now, the other question mark that comes around is going to be, this Invoker is having a rough time, that's for sure. How is he going to be dealing with this dual lane mid? What? Never mind. Bottom lane, there's a mid-stun coming through from 7. As he will be forced back as well. Dark Willow's got the Brambles to be able to try and stop them from moving back. Vanilla will be going down over here if Leshrac doesn't land that stun, but he does, but even one more right click should do the trick. However, Axe's movement speed is not fantastic, and they might actually be able to chase him down, but the Salve comes through, and that will mean he can back off. And right now, it'll be Leshrac to secure himself a few bounty runes. 3 bounty runes going the way of the portal. Boys, and now it will be the Radiant to start things off at a bit of a disadvantage.
What's very interesting is Axe went for the double stout shield from Dota 1 days.
Dota 1 days.
Axe is grateful.
Oh, good days. I miss those days.
While the Dire was encouraging on the bounty rune bot, they were also able to place down a ward in the lane, which is also going to help them see if Beastmaster or Dark Willow are trying any sort of pulls,
shenanigans,
and they'll be able to disrupt those.
That's going to be useful, especially when you keep in mind that Beastmaster actually did them a huge favor by cutting down all of these trees. So the vision you get from that ward is absurdly good. Now, top lane is where there might be a bit of a difficult situation here for the techies. Now, Aeon is Aeon, sure, but they're actually... Okay, you know what? Maybe they might be able to return fire over here, because he does have the purification to get some more damage out. Aeon's stacking a lot of damage from the creeps, but he will back off and just eat up a tree. So one position techies.
On bot lane, it just looked like a brawl going on back and forth. No
I really like how you completely ignore my attempts to throw a transition of a one position techies over to you, because you're like, you know what? No, I'm just not taking this. Okay, I'm not taking the bait.
I'm not taking the bait towards a one position techies because, you know, it's a tech.
This very much.
Suicide with being able to secure that kill.
What would a Dota tournament be where I don't miss first blood in the finals? Incomplete is what it would be.
It was a pretty good setup. It was just a stun from the Vengeful Spirit into the Suicide.
Control group.
He's securing himself a kill. Okay, you're back. Brilliant. Now, bot lane, a bit of engagement potentially to come through, as they are going to be able to pull back a few of the Radiant creeps to ensure accident. Broodmother has all of her mana burnt away, which has got that extra mango. That's why she ended up going for 4 over there. And it seems like techies might actually be trying to turn around onto Scream as well, but Scream just takes down that mine. Will be perfectly fine with this. Last hits wise, surprisingly enough, no one's not really doing particularly well, and now finally Sanities will start to creep skip a little bit on the bottom lane on the Axe. But yeah, let's see. 7.
A bit of trouble.
Ooh, he might be, but so is the Leshrac on the bottom lane. 7. Not quite caught out by the Bramble Maze. Da Vinci does get the kill on Invoker, like you said, but 7 with the Fairy Fire will be perfectly fine. Invoker goes down.
And
how did the Invoker go down?
Away in the trees. Sorry?
How did the... Oh, top lane, almost getting a kill onto Omni Knight with a nice little suicide. But how did Invoker go down in the mid lane? I wasn't able to catch that. I thought...
The Broodmother just ran down the Invoker with her spiders. Now she's got an army of herself. So she is able to just chunk down Invoker's health with a few right clicks of her minions. And then seal it off with her what's it called? Spawn Spiralins.
It's a pretty hard counter. I mean, the Broodmother to the Invoker, but what... See, personally, I am of the opinion that, oh, actually, bottom lane, Axe is being damaged down pretty heavily, but the Battle Hunger just makes it so difficult. And some units underneath the tower. Another kill coming through from Aeon onto Scream. Seems like the lane where I was expecting the least action will be the most action-packed.
Well, now you know that the techies is laning right. Even if like the techies is not gonna plant his mine in the trees or whatnot, he's still gonna try and plant the mines right under your feet, which is even more annoying than knowing that it might be in that tree or what.
No sorceries avail.
This is where the advantage of techies versus a melee hero in lane is what I feel like Aeon's really just trying to exploit. Mid lane, it's another kill onto the Invoker, although there was a TP coming through from the Dark Willow, it's a bit too slow.
I don't think even if the Dark Willow was be able to complete that TP, she would have been able to do anything for that Invoker over there. Her Bramble Maze was not on cooldown. Actually.
Well, speaking of Dark Willow not being able to do anything, there's an army chasing her down, and it seems like that's a team right now. No one can really do too much versus the Broodmother. Ghost Khan completely dominating, but now he will be caught out. They've got a nice little follow-up as well. Could get...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But the invisibility comes through from the Invoker. Has to be careful not to get baited out into a right click. The regeneration coming through from both the Soul Ring plus the web combined is a bit too much.
Radiant's
using the scanner there to make sure that Broodmother is still
7's going to be caught out, but he dodges out the brambles just barely. Very well done by him, but that might result in a return kill onto Shoes, and Shoes is trying to back away, but the Battle Hunger will take him down. It will be traded now, and that's a big one for them to get. It's a lot of experience to go the way of the Dark Willow, now up to level 3 and up. Seven. They didn't have enough mana to keep on following through.
Invisibility!
So no harm, no foul. Mostly just mana used up by the Leshrac, and Dark Willow should be able to get back pretty easily.
Come to act!
He has a mango though.
Actually, there's action happening all over the place. His mid lane will also see the Invoker potentially going down as he does get pushed back. Will it take a fall? A bit too much domination coming out from Portal right now.
Huskar went down to the Diabolic Edict. I think he forgot that even if the Leshrac dies, the Diabolic Edict instance and still remains.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's always a problem playing up against Leshrac, being caught up in the chaos of all those spells. And now 7 does get rooted up, and that should mean a kill to come through. However, they still need one more right click, or at least those access to land, but neither one of those will be happening.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay.
Because Invoker TP'd up top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wenge or Techies.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now, top lane, there might be a kill to come through on the vent, so they're trading a tower for
Radiant's
that potentially.
middle
But
tower is
Die
under
is so
attack.
fast with the Windlace that he can just get himself away, despite that being a Wex Invoker. That does free up some space for them to get a kill. Content with this because
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 2.
What do you do in
Radiant
this
structures
situation?
are fortified.
I think this is where they needed to rotate in the Beastmaster instead of the Willow, because Beastmaster is a bit more effective than a Willow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Axis is a different story.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
You're right, as Beastmaster can be a little bit more effective. However, in the meanwhile, efficient farming will continue for pretty much the entirety of the Dire side. Their net worths are ridiculous. Aeon sitting on 3,600 with the Techies. Broodmother, 4,500 in almost 9 minutes. Ghost Khan is going absolutely insane right now.
In terms of last hit, Axe is almost in line with the Broodmother.
Thank you so much.
I think we missed a kill attempt top because Techie suicided.
Oh, he did, but now there's another one to come through, so you know what? We might be able to make up for lost time.
Have a little humility.
They want over towards the middle lane. They don't really have too much of a great way of stopping it. Omni can't close the distance to get a good purification off and take down a few of those spiderlings. Even with the purification, he's gone for level 2 Deja and Aura, which means that he's not really got that full nuke damage.
I think he got the Deja and Aura to be able to survive up top so that he isn't run down by the... He's able to run away from
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Chase potential by Wenge, I guess.
Now, speaking of
Radiant's
chase
courier
potential,
has been killed.
a lot of chase potential coming out onto this Invoker, as he will just be slowed up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Forward with thee, fearless. Fearlessly into the fray, Axe.
But it seems like they should be able to get away in time.
Radiant's
Meanwhile, they do
top
get
tower
one
has
small
fallen.
victory in the form of taking down the Axe. However, 7 might be able to turn things around. He's got quite a few stick charges. If he can just
Radiant's
get a
bottom
stun and
tower
continue
is under
to
attack.
get a few of those Edict damage charges, that would have been big. However, 7 just chooses to back off and not potentially risk giving away more.
Because he didn't. I don't think he was able to land that stun, and he did.
Invisibility.
Mid lane,
Back.
Broodmother is being constantly forced out of mana at the very least, so there is that.
Gods. A
But,
virtual
oh my
gaze.
goodness, action happening all over the place. It seems like everyone from the Dire side just continues on getting more and more kills. Portal just getting further and further ahead. What can you even do from the Radiant
Are
side?
the techies. What do you?
Radiant's bottom
51
tower
damage
is
at
under
level
attack.
25. And that's gonna
Radiant
make them more
structures
sad
are
than
fortified.
ever.
That would be really fun to see. Just Aeon trying to go for the level 25 and just getting a couple of moons.
Down the
Radiant's
tier
bottom
1 top
tower
with his
has
mines as
fallen.
well.
Axe likes this very much.
Scream. Creeping around, but how successful he'll be is still yet to be seen. They might be able to get a kill onto Ghost Khan. He doesn't have too much in the way of backup. They only need to be able to close the distance, but there's no level 6 coming out onto the Beastmaster. And the Broodmother, well, she seems like she should be able to get away to safety. Oh, however, finally Dark Willow comes through. They get the kill on the Brood. She goes down. Die will be soon to follow. They do get the right click, but Blink comes in the axe, and there's 4-man call to come through, but he doesn't have the Culling Blade off of cooldown. He wasted it earlier on, so it won't be able to come through with more 7. Instead, manages to kill the Omni Knight. 2 for 2 trade, still very good for the Radiant side, but now it might be 3 as Dark Willow ends up going down. Vanillas.
20 hacks from the axe of axe.
Weren't able to cut off their
Dire's
losses,
middle tower is
but
under attack.
disengaging quick enough and getting caught by the Blink Dagger of Axe. And it's a 12-minute Blink Dagger. I'm pretty sure they should
Radiant's
have expected
top
that.
tower is under
Seeing
attack.
how
Axe dies.
Okay.
I made my
Sorry, just very quickly lagged out.
atone walk
I think we're having some ISP issues right now, Grimheart. Because apparently both of us are having the issue. So
I didn't see any loss or loss.
yeah, that's the problem. I was trying to figure that out myself as well. But right now, there might be a loss coming through pretty soon, as in the loss of life of Dark Willow, as she will be trying to bramble up Ghost.
How dare you lay a hand on me?
Off immediately after.
Meanwhile, Tekis is just up top farming to his heart's content. He's almost gonna complete his Mask of Madness.
And he's smoked up too.
I think he's starting to... Then
Keep. Tell you guys what, now we're having a couple of issues with the microphone, so we're going to try and fix those. Just switching out a few servers. We'll be right back in just a few seconds.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified.
magics die with me. Catch up. I return to the soil. No sorceries avail, great guardian. Watch over us.
No.
The value of a life.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Things.
I need this like I know from the goddess. Haste.
The tithe. Thanks.
And we're back, and hopefully things should be sorted out now. Back into the action. Portal's lead just keeps on growing larger and larger, but that's practically to be expected at the point where you've got a Leshrac that's almost as farmed up as your position 1
Radiant's
Huskar.
top tower is under attack.
a little while before Invoker bought back to get a kill on Broodmother.
That's worth it, honestly. Now, the problem with that, of course, comes in when they try to break high ground, and the Invoker has got the ridiculous timer before he can respawn. The plus 20, the plus time on the buying back is just very frustrating to deal with when you're trying to get up some good high ground defenses.
Meanwhile, up top, they're even afraid to go chase after techies because of the remote mines being stacked up somewhere and blowing up in their faces.
I feel like this is something we actually didn't discuss. I mean, on a serious note, techies is very restrictive of the map. So once you're behind and you don't have vision across the board, for one thing, you need to spend a lot of money just to get some sentries up. And for the other thing, you can't really go anywhere, can you? It just feels like everyone's out to get you. It's like being paranoid.
Like, top lane is restricted by the techies, and even
Radiant's
like
bottom tower
even though we know that he hasn't
that's
passed
not
any...
right there, because they might be
Radiant's
going in. They've got the roar onto the left shock. He should be going down, but a swap might be enough to save him. However, there comes the cold snap, and 7 should be taking a fall. They do have the cold. Oh, they have a good tornado to follow up as well, but they're jumping forward with the axe on the Dire side. Now, Vanilla will try to back off. Sanity will be caught at the end of the day, though, but he provides quite a bit of space, and it means that Da Vinci can get some decent damage onto the tier 3 tower. However, good decision making on the Radiant side, keeping the Dark Willow. She's one of the few heroes that can actually chase back that Broodmother. Another kill should be coming out. Huskar's been caught, but he might be doing some catching of his own. Leshrak does back off though.
Broodmother is going for a BKB. She'll be able to fight toe-to-toe with the Huskar and the Invoker in upcoming fights, which will make her more of a hindrance than before. Because right now, but still, the Beastmaster will still be able to lock her down. Maybe if she invests in the Lincolns, that'll make it even more difficult for the
I feel like the biggest problem isn't just that whether or not they can lock her down. It's whether or not they can chase her off, because that's what the Dark Willow really provides you. So I think the BKB is a good choice, but now they're going in on towards the top lane. If they can just catch out this Invoker, this should be a free high ground. However, the invisibility rune on the Leshrak will lead to his own demise. 7 ends up taking a fall soon after he comes down from that Yule Scepter, but in the back lines, that's Ghost Khan chasing up on the screen. Scream forced to use out that Soul Ring to stay up in mana and keep his teammates alive from the high ground, and now Die should be taking the fall. A lot of ground being given up by the portal side, but the battle still continues as they want to get even more bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom
Some damage
tower
going
is
through
under
as
attack.
Sanity will have pushed forward to the extent where now he can just take down the waves, cut the creeps, and then get that tower.
I think the Radiant, the Dire are being a bit cocky in terms of not grouping up now, because they're bleeding kills, and if they bleed too much kills, the Radiant will be able to come back in. But that's, I guess, what the Radiant wants.
This is difficult. Oh, actually, speaking of bleeding kills, right now there's some blood being spilt, but it's not of the Dire because Huskar has been caught out by this axe. Mana burn comes out from the EMP, which means that Sanity can't move forward with his call. However, it will be a casualty in the form of the Invoker to come through. Huskar still fighting up with the GA on him, so he should take down the Broodmother successfully. He manages to get the job done. Highest net worth target being taken down multiple times in the game so far. Aeon as well getting close. And remember, Aeon on the techies, when he died the previous time, he gave away 700 gold.
But I don't think he has died after that. I'm not sure though.
He's sitting on 4 deaths right now, so not too fantastic.
To the impurities.
Huskar, meanwhile, is going for his own BKB. It'll provide him with much utility to fight against the Dire team, because right now the Leshrak is pretty good on controlling the Huskar with the Yules and the stun.
Double desolation.
That's true. There's a lot of lockdown for the Huskar if he wants to jump in, especially if 7's good on the Yule Scepter and can just throw him into the air early on.
And right now their saving grace seems to be the wench, who's sacrificing herself again and again to bail out the heroes who are caught up deep inside the enemy's base.
You're right. We really need to give a quick shout out to Die. He's been really just it seems like he's been the voice of reason. As in, guys, you know, I realize we're at a 10k gold lead, but maybe not make it 5k for no reason.
It just reminds me of our games, to be honest, where you just go and feed.
Wait, I'm sorry. I am the voice of reason, alright?
No,
Ben's is feeding too, technically. But
Radiant
she is
are
feeding
scanning.
to be the voice of reason. She is sacrificing herself for their sins.
Something that we didn't talk about though was that Invoker went Quas Vex for laning against Broodmother.
I was about to talk about that, but then he died.
I feel as though if he would have gone Quas Exort, that might have...
Oh, nice swap onto the Dark Willows. That should be a free kill to lead up to a Roshan attempt. And indeed, Da Vinci's is able to get the job done. However, Axe
misses his culling blade once again, putting it on cooldown. While the Broodmother is cleaning up the Ancients.
This is just so hard right now for the Radiant.
The Dire themselves are trying to go for the Roshan.
They should be able to get it.
Yeah, they're able to take out the vision provided by the Beastmaster. Even though the Radiant know that this is going on, I don't think they're gonna contest because they don't seem in a position to contest. Because once again, maybe they're in a paranoia state where that the techies have mined that place to hell, and if they go, it's just gonna, you know, be their deaths.
Oh. Keep an eye out though. They've managed to catch out the Axe. That's a big kill to get if they can just take him down. But they do actually take away his mana, so he can't fight up. He doesn't even have a magic wand or a mango to deal with. But now Ghost Khan with the BKBs fighting up. There's a stun on 3 from the Leshrac, swapping out the Broodmother with the BKB is still going on, so that'll be completely wasted. Nice Rise coming through from the Dark Willow. They'll be able to get another kill onto the Axe, and now things slowing down just a bit. They might even be able to finish off that Roshan. That's why the buyback is needed from the Vengeful Spirit. Nice Purify to keep him alive for a little while longer. However, there is still a fighting Broodmother, but she can't fight hard enough. She does end up getting destroyed by the Huskar, but Huskar himself will go down to a stray magic missile. Meanwhile, top lane, Aeon's chilling like a villain.
Techie was planting mines again and again on the top tier 3, and he was almost able to take it out.
I mean, that team fight was so good for the Radiant though.
That's definitely true. They were able to capitalize on techies not planting any mines there or giving them any support on the Roshan area, and they were able to kill Axe. They were able to get Axe out of mana in the start of the fight.
That was a big one,
quite irrelevant.
See, and that just goes to show you right now, the power of the Radiant side is not to be trifled with. They've still got nowhere to go but up. And this is where, you know what, you were criticizing Invoker's skill build a bit in the laning stage. It sucks that I have to do this, and I hate, you know, picking on someone too much, but I have to criticize his skill build right now. He's gone for almost full points in Quas, and now he started to level up the Exort. I saw earlier on that he had the exact same build, but Exort on only level 2. You need the damage right now as a Radiant side. Now, that teamfight was very fortunate because you managed to waste out the entire BKB time as well for the Broodmother. So now the question comes through, can they do the same but with the Axe being a bit more attentive towards those EMPs? And it seems like they want to fight up. They've got the EMP out. Broodmother will be forced to back off at the very least, but for some reason the Omni Knight just keeps getting bashed again and again. It's unfortunate for him, but he almost gets caught up, and now he will. Da Vinci is going forward. He's creating a masterpiece, but there's a roar to stop him in place. They're going in. They're going to keep on fighting up. Nice little meteor, but he's BKB'd up, so no damage to be dealt whatsoever towards the Broodmother. Now on to the Beastmaster. He goes. Beastmaster's down and out. Da Vinci's got a double kill. He's going to be keeping on moving forward. 7, though, will be dissuaded from taking chase. However, the Invoker's Ghost Walk wearing off, and now he's got the Yule Scepter onto the Invoker. Will be following through with the stun. Got so much damage. Just Leshrac should be able to get the kill, but Invoker mans up, gets her Alacrity out, and will indeed turn onto the Lesh.
Meanwhile, the Dire is sitting contentedly in the Roshan pit, bashing down on Roshan until he gives up the Aegis. That
15k net worth.
Oh, look at the mid tier 3 tower, just on 18 health.
You know, if I've learned anything from life, if you see anything that's 18, you tap it down. Now, mid lane. That's exactly what Portal will be trying to do. Now, they've gotten the Aegis, they've put it on towards the Broodmother. Right player to want it on. But Brood, I mean, Props to the Radiant for controlling her as well as they have been. They're really taking advantage of Portal's slightly clowny draft in terms of having that techies, but there goes the Meteor. Speaking of Meteor, again, I hate to rag on the Invoker, but he threw down a Meteor onto a solo hero who's BKB'd up.
I don't think that I think the BKB was popped up after the BKB.
No, before. I checked.
I think he was just running away and he just wanted to cast all of his spells before running away. That might have been the reason.
That's true. It's possible, but even so, I feel like that shouldn't be particularly forgivable or a good excuse. But they've got 2 tier 3s and now 2 Raxes are exposed. Time for them to start going in and going ham. Oh, nice initiation. Might be able to get the EMP, but the question is onto who? Because the Vengeful Spirit gets to swap out and they're able to save the Broodmother for now. GA is here, and that means the Huskar can be healed up, but he needs a bit more attack speed to work around with good kill onto the Axe. Now onto Leshrac he goes. Leshrac uses himself into the air. BKB is already used up by the Broodmother, so she'll be forced back as well. Top lane, the action could be happening onto Techies, but Techies with his mines to keep him alive. He'll be fine with getting back in time. Dire's side, a buyback as well from the Axe, as he's got an Invis rune, but Techies, Aeon's trying to bait this out, but it seems like Aeon will be caught by the Brambles. That's a big kill to get if you can just get him down. He's got a Crystallis, but he can't right-click his way out of it.
I outlive.
Fantastic kill, and lots of levels to come through for the Invoker, who right now is a little bit threadbare in levels and items.
They'll finally know about the wards being placed and why they weren't chasing after the techies up on the high ground. For all it's worth, it looks like the Radiant are holding their own really well against the amount of lead that the Dire was able to get early on in the game, and slowly but surely it looks like they're gonna get back into the game.
You want to know something absolutely ridiculous, Grimheart?
Sure.
Check the kill score. Check the net worth lead.
Shrine has fallen.
Yeah. 25 to 24, the Radiant have got the kills advantage, but 14,000 gold up on Portal. You got to feel for the Radiant. Oh, it might be time to feel for the Radiant. They want to blink in with the Axe. Sanity's looking around. He's hunting, but he won't be finding anything yet. There is still that Aegis on the Broodmother, which means that they need to engage onto someone else, and that's what they want to try to do, but things are being split up. Broodmother is going to get one set of Raxes, and in the mid, already the Rains have fallen. Now, all the Dire need to do is keep them at bay and prevent them from getting an initiate off. There's a repel out, but there's a swap onto the Beastmaster. Beastmaster stuns up the Leshrac. That's a wrong target again, but they will get a lot of damage through onto the Axe with the help of a Meteor. Axe should maybe even be ending up going down. The Burning Spears will be enough to take him out of that team fight, and he will actually be able to stay alive. Never mind, Jogger is now on the Huskar, trying to back off in safety, but is unsuccessful in doing so. Has to buy back and does so immediately afterwards. Invoker will do the same, and Scream now going down. It should be a Rampage to come through, but it's stolen by the Vengeful Spirit. There is still a fighting Broodmother. She wants this Rampage, but she might not get it in time. However, with the help of the Axe, things change very, very quickly, as they will be able to get a few more kills. Axe, though, is dead to rights.
Radiant's middle barracks.
But at the end of the day, Radiant trade.
Up the racks while all of that was going on with the Diabolic Edict. While doing that, he was also throwing in stuns. Or a beautiful dodge with a Cataclysm with his own Yules. But he'll still be going down to the Alacrity.
Oh, yeah.
I despair.
That's such an expensive fight as well for basically everyone.
Multiple buybacks.
Radiant side. I think there were 4 buybacks. Yeah, there's 3 buybacks actually. 3.
4.
Who's the 4th?
Back? Oh, actually, yeah, 3. You're right.
Yeah.
No sorceries
I think Techies bought back as well, though. No, I'm sure that he bought back. Yeah, Techies bought back. Techies bought back, Dark Willow bought back, Beastmaster, Huskar, Invoker, Omni Knight.
This is a hard one for the Radiant side. They need to basically... They need initiation, I feel like, because right now they're really just relying on a stray tornado or They're relying on the Beastmaster just be in position. He's gone for a Necrobook.
The problem with the Radiant initiating is that the Venge is always there to pull whoever's gotten initiated on out of position, and that makes the Radiant want to commit harder on whoever they're going on the dire side.
See, I want to agree with you, don't get me wrong. But my problem with that entire concept is actually, hold that thought, check this out on the top lane. Leshrac is actually moving through. Chaudhary will take a fall. Solo kill from the Leshrac onto the Invoker, no problem whatsoever. 110 seconds on the sideline.
The dieback counter coming into play.
From the goddess.
The Radiant is definitely on a back foot now.
I need to figure something out as well. It's when does Aeon hit that level 25? So he has that plus 251 damage. Because I need to see a techie just beating down on someone. And you know what? We might have a chance to see just that very, very soon.
Because he's going for a Divine Rapier himself, and he has queued up 2 Tombs of Experience as well.
Are fortified.
But we might not be so fortunate because it seems like they're going for the bot racks and not sure
well,
if they'll
Divinity might be put at a pause, but right now BKB up, perfect time to get the roar, good GA as well, but a long range swap means that the Broodmother can get back into the fight. Good damage from the Leshrac, still guaranteeing themselves 2 kills, and it'll turn to 3 as now only the Beastmaster left, and he won't be left for much longer. Another right click to come through from Die means that the Radiant have just lost game number 1. It's only a matter of calling it, and call it they do. 32 minutes in, Portal looking absolutely dominant.
Barracks are under attack.
A hectic game for the Radiant to be sure, being playing against by the Broodmother and the techies.
It was just so difficult right now. And I mean, just quickly looking at the endgame scoreline, the Broodmother has got 19,000 net worth compared to the highest on the Radiant side. That's Invoker on 11,000. Invoker just didn't have anywhere near the same impact. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more to come through from the Radiant in the next game. Portal made this one look like an absolute whitewash. But you know what? We have a short break for them to get their head into the game before we come back for game number 2. Stay tuned.
watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves you follow me, drifting to places I should leave, so close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Couldn't get any closer.
Radiant
To
team back.
forget all that we had.
Dire team back.
Rolling like water in the sea, the memories crashing into me.
Radiant
so
team
close to
back.
the edge of something so worth it. You had the
Dire
world
team
right
back.
at your feet. It almost is all
Radiant
we'll
team back.
ever be.
Dire team back. Radiant team pick.
Can you hear that?
Can I hear what?
That's a sign of a techies not being banned out first phase, and I feel like that's probably the first mistake that they're gonna make on Server Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2. If you're just tuning in, then where the hell have you been
10
this past
seconds
hour? Because
remaining.
you just missed out one
Dire team
bomb-ass
pick.
game. Now, it was, of course, for
Beastmaster.
Esports taking the first game, and now to bring you coverage of the second game, this is, of course, tea time. I'm joined by none other than Grimheart himself.
Hello.
Grimheart, what are you feeling like? You know, where's this gonna go? I feel, before you say anything, before you do,
Yes.
how fun would it be if Portal just went and picked up the exact same lineup that Survey
10
had in the
seconds
previous game?
remaining.
Oh. And it'll be
5
even more fun if the
seconds
Survey
remaining.
Corps picked up the same lineup that Portal Esports had that previous game.
See, I feel like Survey Corps have got a few takeaways from the previous game, and one of them might not be to try and copy what Portal's doing,
Dire
because
team
Portal
pick.
seems like they're really just
Winter
relying on
Rival.
the skill discrepancy, and hopefully Survey can kind of pull things together a bit and punish Portal in at
Radiant
least
team
one
pick.
game for their slightly clowny picks coming through. But now it's birdie on birdie action. It's Winter Wyvern and Phoenix being picked up
Ice
early
on
on, and
fire.
Beastmaster, a song of ice and fire, some might even say. And Beastmaster, I mean, he's got a little bit of birdie of his own. So what do you think about
Radiant
this so
team
far?
ban. Mirana.
Right now, the Survey Corps birdies are looking pretty strong with
Dire team
Fire
ban.
Spirits and Slow coming in from the Arctic Burn. It's definitely going to be a hell of a learning stage for the Portal Esports guys.
So
Radiant
Mirana does,
team
of course,
back.
take away our
Team back.
fantasies, and that is, of course, the fantasies about Portal picking up the same lineup as Survey Corps did. Survey Corps, so respect banning out the TA, probably the right move to make, as I mentioned before. While Portal say that they got a bit annoyed by
Dire
the Omni
team
Knight in the
pick.
previous game, so they'll remove that along with the Bristleback from the pool. Drow being the next man to come through from Survey. But now Mirana over here from the Portal side, and I'm really hoping it's Aeon who plays it, but I have a feeling it might not be. But regardless, it's a very fun hero to watch. Arrows definitely add some spice of life.
You know what's not banned though? A Bane is not banned, so the Bane
10
Mirana combo is
seconds
still
remaining. Radiant
existing
team
here.
pick.
Venomancer.
Speaking of other
Dire
poisonous
team
things,
pick.
they do pick up the Venomancer, and now Portal immediately after do respond with the Shadow Shaman. It seems like they might have had enough of playing around, as they do pick up. It's one of the few position 5 heroes that can really provide a substantial pushing presence on the map, so that's exciting for me to see.
Not just a
Venomancer.
pushing presence though, right? He has a good amount of lockdown
10
and a good
seconds remaining.
nuke as well to help out in the laning stage as well.
5 seconds remaining.
And if you pair Shadow Shamans with something like an Ursa, even though it's banned, it'll be a sure kill in that laning stage.
It's true, but Venomancer on the other side, they've got a lot of slows now. And Venomancer, ooh, 4 people with slows, 1 heavy lockdown with the Winter Wyvern ultimate. But beyond that, this isn't really looking fantastic for Survey as far as lockdown goes. I mean, they've got the call as well, I suppose, but you're relying on the Blink Dagger at that stage. So all of their hard lockdown is a little bit dependent on having early levels. And I was just about to point out that Portal Esports can indeed go for a Storm, which is exactly what they pick up. Storm, a hero that thrives in these circumstances.
Definitely. Now the Survey has to ban out a good carry for the Portal Esports guys and pick up something themselves that'll have a stun and be able to deal out good amount of damage. And something along those lines doesn't really come up right now to me.
Yeah, because see, normally whenever I see a Storm, I say, you know what, go for Skyrat. But unfortunately, they've already picked up their supports, and now the Clinks as well coming into the fray. Portal is looking like they're going to just ball out of control with the amount of stopping power you need to be able to take down Storm and Clinks on a lineup. This is worrying, and you're relying on Axe getting off to a very good start, it seems like.
You need to keep one thing in mind, though. The Clinks and Shadow Shaman lane is not going to be really be able to sustain heavy amounts
5
of
seconds remaining.
harass damage from whoever they're laning against. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a Phoenix and a Winter Wyvern.
Venomancer. Well, to be honest,
I think the Venomancer is gonna be going mid.
Yes. I was just about to point that out. Veno is also not bad versus a Storm Spirit, in my opinion. Like, the amount of right-click damage you can get onto Storm every time he tries to move forward to take a Remnant onto him makes it very tricky for Storm to actually lane versus the Venomancer. Plus, you're always in the range of a Gale. Storm Spirit, not really the longest range hero. You know, this is where you've got a few chances to kill him early on in the laning stage, but I still don't see what they can go for as the one position that provides them some solid lockdown on the Radiant side.
Okay, so even if the Venomancer is able to push Storm Spirit out of the lane, I don't think he'll be able to go for a kill, because to go for a kill, he'll need +1 support.
Yeah, that's what I'm
assuming. Come in. But as soon as that happens, right, the other lanes are gonna the pressure from the other lanes is gonna go, and if it's the lanes that Clinks is laning in, it'll sure be to transition into a tier 1 tower or whatever towers.
That's a good point. But at the same time, I suppose we do need to keep in mind that these are very strong laners coming out from Survey Corps. Phoenix, Venomancer, Axe, all 3 of these heroes incredible in lane. So it all kind of does just come down to who the last hero will be. And I'm going to put you on the spot over here. What's the hero that can keep these guys under check? Or
you may now select your heroes.
That's a stun, I guess.
That is a stun, but that stun is easily dodged by a Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
But with the Alk talent of -10 or whatever, how many -10 seconds or seconds it is for the uncock, whatever it's called. Unstable concoction.
The unstable concoction.
Yeah.
Yes.
That might be pretty good for the team fight. Because with the Axe call, if they're able to get a good Axe call off, and then stable concoction.
I'm going to quickly cut you off, because as much as I want to talk about that, let's quickly just graze over the fact that this is going to be Aeon on the Shadow Shaman. This is going to be Ghost Khan on the Clinks. This is not going to be your standard laning setup. They're still just kind of flexing their muscles a little bit, and this is where Survey Corps can try and give them a cramp with that Alchemist, who relies on getting an early head start, which unfortunately is what I can say about the entirety of the Radiance of the Dire side. They are relying on getting an early head start if they want to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, I think definitely the Dire need to have a good laning stage to be able to stay in this game.
Prepare for battle.
It looks like the Venomancer and Phoenix are going to go top lane. And Winter Wyvern and Axe are going off lane. That's pretty good, because the Winter Wyvern will be able to give that Axe some kind of sustainability with the Cold Embrace and keep him able to cut creeps, making it harder for Clinks.
I'm gonna put production on the spot over here. Production, can you go onto the Beastmaster and just press that little icon that lets you see him in up close and personal? Because that Beastmaster is one good-looking dude.
If you want to do that, you should look at the Shadow Shaman stuff. Man.
That's true, I did actually, but I feel like that's like where
during the drafting, I was like, can we stop talking and just look at the stuff? Look at the snake swirling.
Oh yeah, it's so good, man. That's where cosmetics can blind you, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. That's the only reason why we're favoring Portal to win right now, by the way. That's really the only reason why anyone's favored to win in this game. It's because you've got better cosmetics.
So it's a...
And we will have a small pause coming through, it seems. As okay, there. So it's a technical pause. It will just be a couple of problems coming out, and yeah. So speaking of discoveries, Sanity has been discovering the infrastructure of the Portal land cafe. It's a very nice land cafe, actually. I don't know if you've been there. They've got
they
some
even have a
great
PS4,
PCs.
Of course, it's a nice.
Oh yeah. Have you been there?
No, he just said it's next to the PS4.
Oh. Okay. All right, fair play. But right now, let's see whether or not that. Oh, nice! They got the bounty rune with the alchemist. That's good to see. So they do manage to get 2 this time. It's a better start than last, that's for sure. Sanity hasn't quite skilled anything yet, so he'll be fine regardless. A 7 backs off.
Don't know about the dire bounty still being there.
Oh.
And X should.
X should be going to get that.
I'm sure that they thought that the Radiant, seeing that 5 up top, that they would have picked up the bounty on the dire side, but it looks like none of them are gonna take notice.
I have a question, Grimhard.
Yes.
When did the Shadow Shaman base damage get buffed to 84?
That's not the. I think that's with the.
That's with the Null Talisman and the branches, sure, but that's still absurd.
And this alchemist is not gonna have a good day.
Yeah,
he's already level 2, and with the I think he should have just leveled up the hex. Yeah, and
you've got some serious skill potential. But speaking of serious skill potential, top lane First Blood should be coming through. 7's being brought down slowly, and he will take a fall. First Blood goes with the Phoenix. Power of the birdies.
Slow provided by the Winter Wyvern and the Fire Spirit DPS coming in from the Firebird.
That's the spirit.
Speaking of getting a kill down towards the mid lane, they've got a great shackle, but the TP will come forward from the Winter Wyvern to dissuade him from chasing forward any further.
It looks like Axe is not having a good lane either. The Kling steering arrows damage really cutting through his HP.
Blocked.
He's not able to keep creep skip here.
Just to pause you for a second, as we're going to be turning a few switches on and off, and we'll be back in a few seconds.
For the hunt.
And there we go. Those are the switches being turned on and off again. Hopefully things will be working fine. And hopefully we can keep an eye out on this fine game that's going on. 13 last hits for the Clinks. That is the big man for the Radiant side.
Meanwhile, I was looking at Storm and what position he's going to be playing. It looks like they're playing him as a position 4. Because...
that's the best kind of Storm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You would know.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I feel like the best kind of Storm is the kind of Storm I'm not playing.
I mean, even if you go mid with your Storm, you're just gonna be fulfilling a support role because you're gonna be feeding non-stop.
Because I'm a support player at heart, is what you mean to say. I understand. You know what? I agree with you. But middle lane, it seems like Alchemist heart is being changed a bit too. 3 last hits on him. Aeon. This is what I meant by probably the most mechanically skilled mid player ever since Somel in Pakistan. Aeon's 20 last hits, pretty much. Alchemist on 3. 13 denies.
13 denies.
Yeah. And right now he's being right down by those creeps. He's chasing up. He might be able to get this kill with the help of the Ether Shock. And yes, he is. Another right click comes forward. That's the extra damage that really is coming into play. So much for Alchemist getting off to a good start.
That was a pretty calculated last hit with the Ether Shock there.
Yes, it was. I feel like that's a big benefit of the long duration of the Shackle, as we do see a couple of kills coming through on the top lane. Sanity does get 2. Seemingly practically solo, but of course that is going to come at the price of the Storm Spirit taking a fall.
No, just for the Storm Spirit, it's decided to the tower. Tier 2 tower.
I mean, it does still take a fall. Still some damage. I mean, I'm not saying it was courtesy of the Dire side. I mean, the Dire heroes.
Now we're seeing full 2-level disparity on the mid lane. And as soon as... And he's about to hit 6 as well. He actually has hit 6, and I think Alchemist is gonna go down.
Oh yeah, and this is such a good place to put down the wards as well. You can even transition forward onto the tower if you really want to. He does back off because he's afraid of the burn to come through from the acid, but look at the amount of damage he can just do to this tower. Aeon thinking 3 steps ahead every step of the way.
Bot lane is not looking pretty good for either for Axe. Klings is able to keep him a good range amount out of the XP range. He's level 3 as well.
Rami, correct me if I'm wrong, but this Klings has
stupendous
perfect last hits. He hasn't missed a single one.
Radiant are scanning.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, that's true. You're not good at those, are you? But speaking of not being good at something, top lane, Sanity is not particularly good once all 3 of these heroes are now grouped together, so he will be forced back courtesy of a Venomous Gale.
Right
bottom lane, he might be able to get a kill, just needs 2 more right clicks, but will not be able to close the distance. Instead, have to keep an eye out onto the Alchemist, where once again Aeon's wards are going to be coming off of cooldown in just 50 seconds, and that should be the sign of another kill to come, and more kills to come on the top, where Phoenix does take a fall.
I mean, the Alchemist wasn't having a good lane just against the Shadow Shaman, and now even the Beastmaster rotated in for a little while, throwing out axes to harass the Alchemist. I mean, he's taunting his way. It looks like he's enjoying the time, but like, I'm pretty sure he isn't.
7, top lanes, slowed down, should be caught out, doesn't have mana to fight them off, despite there being a few stick charges, but his teammates will leave him out to dry, and 7 will be cursing them for that very fact.
Some good body blocks coming out from Windfire. Venomancer went for no Plague Wards build. That's a bit interesting, because if he's going for, like, I feel like if they're going for a tri lane, and if he builds up his Plague Wards, he has a better chance of pushing the Radiant out.
See, I'm glad I didn't interrupt you to take the camera over towards mid. I was watching that personally, but I felt like maybe we should afford the Alchemist a little bit of humility, because he just got dived 7 minutes in, despite there being a Winter Wyvern there to try and help him out, by a Shadow Shaman on the mid lane to the tier 2.
And right now he got denied 2 creeps right into the tower by the Shadow Shaman. He's definitely not having a good time. 48 last hits and 27 denies.
I think Aeon got a little bit tired of playing the farming techies, and now he's here to play, he's here to party, he's here to have a goddamn good time, but now that time might not be so good anymore. Chaudhry still oh no! Don't do this to them!
A lot of time wasted by the Winter Wyvern there.
Forget the time wasted, that's gotta be like a big blow to your morale.
And he, on top of that, he used up the shrine. He doesn't even back to base. And like, sorry, what's his name? I keep forgetting because I remember Aeon. Aeon will be able to come back into the
that is ours
quickly.
If this was the matchmaking game, I would have reported 7 4 times over by now. This is the 2nd or 3rd time he's died towards the tower. Sure, it's efficient, but still.
Oh, is that just a level 1 call? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, and that means that Ghost can get away to safety. Switches over to... Ooh, you know what would be baller? If he just turned around, soul ringed up, and he tried to fight off the axe. But it seems like he doesn't want to be a baller. He wants to be alive, which is something that is a luxury perhaps the middle lane can't afford, as they are being forced back again. Creep skipped by a Shadow Shaman who's got level 4 Aether Shock. That's a hard one. Top lane sanity does go down though. That's a small ray of light for the Dire side, as it seems like most of their kills have been up to 7 courtesy of their own towers, but sanity providing the spice of life, providing the variety they needed. He's always nice like that. He can, if you want to take someone down and you know you're having a bad time in the game, you're kind of feeling down about it, sanity is like a therapist, because he'll be more than happy to oblige. At least this game.
They're constantly denying the creeps for Alchemist, and look at the denies on Shadow Shaman, 28 denies, and even the Beastmaster is putting in some bit of effort in the mid lane, and he has 6 denies. And now the tier 2 is under pressure.
Oh, sanity, sanity, sanity. This is insanity, as he's just moved forward. Will be poisoned over down as well. He does end up using a Moonlight Shadow just to try and keep himself alive for a bit longer. Good body blocks. Invisibility doesn't mean you're in phase, and now that means it clinks and close the distance and tried to go for the kill. However, Venomancer will instead get away to safety. Salve up. So a good one from him. I was actually just about to say that, guys, you know, I'm joking around. Sanity is a fantastic player, but I feel like this is probably a redundant time to say it. But let it be kept on record. I do actually think Sanity is bringing a lot more to this team than perhaps is immediately visible from this game. Da Vinci's though, Ghost Khan finding the Venomancer. I mean, what did he even do here?
It looks like things might be.
Axe is gonna. Ooh, that is a.
Axe chops you down to
close call.
That is a. Oh no!
That is a close call, yeah.
The caster affliction, the curse of the puns. It's spreading. It seems like it's being spread like the plague. Oh, well.
It is like when you were talking about Sanity being a good player. If the Clinks was able to eat a creep before coming in for that kill, they would have been able to get Venomancer when Mirana was body blocking the body block.
And this is why we paid this guy the big bucks, so he can find the stats to justify my absolute drivel.
I mean, paying big bucks.
Well, not anymore. You're not after that terrible pun. But top lane. Speaking of people who might not be being paid big bucks, Sanity is being forced back, but. You have to keep in mind, yeah, but you have to also keep in mind that a lot of Aeon's success is to some extent down to Sanity. Yes, I agree that Aeon's just completely destroying this lane, and you know what, he's actually going to be able to get the tier 2 tower as well. If there is one deny to come through, Screams here as well to try and pair things up with a call, so that's
at least they're giving
kill. Yeah, they're giving the kill to
Alchemist, and he's jumped up to level 8.
Radiant's top
oh yeah, that's massive actually. But right now, speaking of massive, damage from Clinks will be enough to take down the Phoenix mid-dive.
Actually, something that we didn't talk about was that pretty good counter Phoenix as well with this.
Oh, that's true actually. But right now, bottom lane 7's gone down, and there will be a follow-up call, so they're getting a few more kills. So nice to see them fighting back, but they need to get their farm efficiency up, and that seems to be the quest for Ghost Khan to prevent that from increasing whatsoever. Now Ghost Khan knows he can't show himself. If he did, then he would have been right-clicked down by the Venomancer. Pair that up with the poison sting damage, and you can get a kill courtesy of the ultimate. However, it seems like that will not be the case.
Is Treads on Axe a thing now?
It's not bad, to be honest, because you want to start spamming out the battle hunger, so it's pretty good in that way. But Treads on Axe has always been a decent enough buy, honestly. Arcane is more when you are just kind of having a harder time and you don't want to put the mental effort into, you know, getting out proper Tread switching for mana's sake. But now, Aeon, he just got out the Axe. Axe will be saved right here, but it will be Beastmaster to move through. Winter's Curse does come out. The cold will be biting in onto Beastmaster, but he should be able to keep himself alive regardless. Top lane can't say the same for Sanity.
Unfortunately, the Winter's Curse doesn't affect the wards.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, that would have been really. I feel like the wards were actually out of range.
Here I am.
It was pretty close to the wards. Like, I'm pretty sure if the wards were affected by the Winter's Curse, they should have attacked Beastmaster.
Someone's got to check that. Someone has got to check that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Rain zip from 7. It seems like 7 might have just gotten his immortal on the Storm Spirit, getting that green zip going on. Right now, that green zip is going to be punished, as he will be chased down. Soul Rings after trying to get himself away to relative safety. Safety is indeed relative, as Scream will get the damage done, courtesy of the Battle Hunger. Ghost Khan going into his invis once again now that the dust has worn off. And it seems like he will be
going for a diffusal blade. And that's gonna be really annoying for the Dire team to play against. A quick chop down with the double damage on the Phoenix.
Axe is not.
That looks like he's gonna go down here.
Yes.
Maybe not.
Yeah, this should be a fairly straightforward few kills for Sanity, as he does, of course, manage to take a few down with the Starstorm. I hate to say it, but net worth is something we have to keep an eye out for, and right now, well, not looking pretty, as Shadow Shaman sitting very close towards that Aghanim Scepter. Only one more item needed before he can get that big damage upgrade.
He's gonna pressure the tier 1 top. I think he's gonna get through that. And after he gets his Aghanim Scepter, his ulti is gonna be even more annoying than it was before. Like, I think he was able to get kills off of that every time he put it down. I'm not sure though.
One time he didn't, actually, when he was trying to dive the tier 2 at 7 minutes.
Vanish.
Mirana ulti coming through. I will praise the Dire for one thing though. They have managed to keep their wits about them and get a few defensive wards going, but maybe a bit too defensive. We'll have to wait to find out, because right now they needed something more defensive, that's for sure. Beastmaster will be taking a fall. Good combo could have come through, but Sanity's got the double leap to get himself away to safety, but still, all things considered, very, very good kill to find over there, considering that they did, of course, use the Moonlight Shadow to try and gank up. But a lot of cooldowns on the Dire side being used.
A good sentry being placed there as well. Yeah, but definitely I think that the Phoenix could have withheld his egg and used it in a more demanding team fight.
Oh, speaking of demanding, they're demanding a response to this Cling, so they will be able to get the call out. Ghost Khan does have invisibility off a cooldown, but do they actually have detection? Doesn't look like they do. Not a single hero. Clinks is actually playing around with the thought of killing this courier, and he will be able to do just that. Now, backlines, they are still fighting up versus Sanity, who backs off safely. A lot of damage. Ooh, Sanity should actually go down over here. He's got a lot of damage onto him. Will they be able to deny him? No, they can't. He uses the magic wand, so... Oh well.
Maybe they were saved the warrior with the shield.
Oh.
And
good time.
They're running after him right now. It looks like they'll be able to kill him.
Yes, they should actually. The Gale is more than enough damage for them to get that job done. So Jogger's getting the kill from long range, but in the meanwhile, of course, Shadow Shaman does end up getting another tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Seems like Portal is done playing around, honestly.
I think he has his Aghanim Scepter completed, definitely.
This is a bit like...
good pickup item would be a dagger, to be honest. And speaking of daggers, does Axe have his dagger? Oh, he's a bit far away as well.
Yeah, the win conditions for the Dire side were definitely the early good start on Axe and Alchemist. Alchemist, don't even get me started. Axe, a bit disappointing, honestly. I wanted to see a bit more to come out in terms of stacking up Ancients, just making sure you're maximizing some farm efficiency, because if you've learned anything from the previous game where you were up in kills even later on in the game, you aren't getting farm out of the map the same way that Portal is, and that's where the big difference maker is coming out.
But Axe couldn't do much in his lane, right? He was there solo, and you had a Beastmaster.
Oh dear, that's a good way to start off a team fight if it was a level 2 Phoenix, and if they had a few more Firebirds up to slow down attack speeds, but without that, it will just be an easy, quick kill, as well as a ward on that high ground.
That looks like Lynx is going to go down well. 600.
That's a big kill. That's a very big kill.
He has
Still
his
3
ghost
for 1
now.
though. Yeah. 3 for 1 though. That's still just not really justifiable, unfortunately.
It's fine though, because the Dire has a pretty low cooldowns and they'll be coming back up really quickly, while Klinks is still gonna be down.
Zap! Zap!
Now they're going through. Nice arrow actually onto the Hexed Up unit. They do, of course, have the Winter Wyvern ultimate on to Shadow Shaman, but they can't quite pair it up with too much damage to come through from the Radiant side. So instead, it has to be Axe to take up the charge and take up the call of action.
Phoenix
Perfect
almost went
timing
down to the
for the
wards. Phoenix almost went down to the Shadow Shaman wards, but was saved by the Cold Embrace there. It looks like the Dire are keeping themselves afloat, and they'll be able to stay in the game if this keeps on going, and maybe even overtake the early lead that the Radiant accumulated.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, but you're right, there are some signs of life. I mean, Alchemist is starting to creep up in the pecking order of net worth, and you know, Venomance was already up there at 7,400. Yes, Aeon kind of eclipses it a little bit, but still.
I mean, when you look at an Alchemist net worth, you really can't take it at the figure it's showing because of the inflated gold that he gets from his greed.
Top lane, they should want to engage on this if they've got the detection, and yes they do, but they don't have the chase. Mirana turning around to try and get a quick arrow, however Phoenix is a bit too fast on his feet, or lack thereof.
Under attack.
On his wings, you mean?
Well, I mean, I feel like he's probably pretty heavy on the wings.
Carrying all the weight of that egg, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Have you seen the size of that thing? It's gargantuan.
The prize is mine.
Axe has his Blink Dagger completed now.
They don't want to fight this, so 2 of their heroes are too far away. They can't fight this 3 versus 3, so instead if they can find a way to jump on the bot lane, take down Shadow Shaman, that's big.
But Shadow Shaman has his own
Radiant's
Blink
middle
Dagger
tower is under attack.
and if he gets even a whiff of someone coming for him, he should be able to get out of danger pretty quickly.
Well, there's a sentry ward
Radiant's
down.
middle
They
tower
do
is
manage
under
to get out the
attack.
roar to start things off with the
Dire's
Venomancer. They need to
bottom
kill him
tower
before he
is
gets
under
out the Poison Nova, but he got off the Ghost Scepter in time to prevent that from happening. Forced out back as well, but now they need to get more damage out onto the Klinks, and they're trying to throw everything at him, but they're unsuccessful so far. And instead, Mirana will be their target. Sanity will be brought down
Dire's
sooner or
bottom
later.
tower
It
has
seems
fallen.
like it will indeed be sooner. Things
Dire's
still
bottom tower is under
unstoppable.
attack.
3 for 1 yet again.
Meanwhile, bot lane.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Alchemist.
To be a recurring theme for the Radiant team, right? Even in the previous game,
Dire's bottom
the
tower
heavily
has fallen.
split push, kind
Dire's
of,
bottom
where
barracks are
3 of
under
the heroes
attack.
or 2 of the heroes
Radiant structures
draw the
are
attention of
fortified.
large amounts of enemy heroes towards them, away
Dire's
from their
bottom
base.
barracks has
Meanwhile,
fallen.
like in the previous game, it was
Dire's
Broodmother
bottom
and
barracks
Techies.
are under attack.
This game, it's the Shadow Shaman.
You're right, and I feel like it does somewhat go back to what we were talking about earlier, that Radiant, I mean the Dire now, isn't really utilizing their resources appropriately.
It's not like they can split up and farm, because if any one of them are caught alone by Klinks or a Storm Spirit even, or even a Shadow Shaman at this point, they're sure to go down because of the heavy amounts of burst damage that they're able to put out, or just the net worth that they have.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I feel more like when I'm talking about early, when I'm talking about utility of the map, I'm speaking a bit more early on. But now they're going in middle lane. They're trying to go into Sanity, but Sanity's already leapt away to safety.
Vanish.
A
Smoke
good
will
dodge
not be useful.
from the call there.
Sanity's scouted out over here, top lane, so they know that there is a Mirana ulti being used.
Unfortunately, none of the the Radiant heroes are near the cluster of Dire heroes. What's interesting is that the Alchemist went for a Sang and he forgone the Radiance. I think he knows that they need to keep on fighting, and getting a Radiance, albeit a farming item for Alchemist, is not going to
Dire's
really
top
work out
tower
for them.
is under attack.
I don't entirely agree with the decision to go for Sanj and Yasha. I think there's better items you can go for if you want to fight up directly. You do need some sort of comeback power in terms of farm, but meanwhile middle lane, Axe will not be a part of any sort of comeback power, it seems like, as he will be caught out. The wards being expended as well. Wards actually being used at a really good place, so they'll be caught out pretty much anywhere they're trying to move forward. So they need to make sure they're going forward or backward and not really being caught in between. Now Aeon getting the Hex out in time, but they should be able to get the kill onto him regardless, and that Hex only, and the Shackle rather, only just guarantees that it's Alchemist to be able to finish him off. Now on to Roshan they go. They should be able to get the Aegis down.
Maybe not.
It does look like they've got a chance, but Alchemist needs to get the stun out in time. They need to pick up this Aegis. They do get the Roshan kill. There'll be an Aegis in the hands of the Venomancer. This could be the big break they've been looking for, but that's a big break onto the face of Alchemist. Arrow from long range. But without a Clink, without the Shadow Shaman, they don't have the damage they need to follow up.
That was a bit lackluster from the Radiant. I think if all of them would have gone for the Roshan, and instead of diverting the enemy attention like they usually do, would have been much safer. And even committing the Shadow Shaman wards for the Roshan would have been better than giving up the Roshan like this. Because
definitely
now
Radiant are
now the Dire team has a fighting chance, right?
That's definitely on Aeon though, you're right. Just being that far apart from his team, this is where, you know, maybe getting a bit too cocky, maybe just getting caught out like that, as Alchemist will at least secure himself a bounty room. Has got the treads finished as well, but Aeon, hard life for him. Venomancer with the Aegis is a fun one, because I feel like this means you can play a lot more aggressively with a Veno, and you will be able to get your ultimate off no matter what happens. So that is where I want to see this being put into play.
You just march into the enemy heroes, not caring whether you die or not, because you're gonna revive no matter what. Until and unless the Aegis expires out.
Yeah.
Which is the wrong way.
Yeah, it is. But right now, speaking of marching straight in, they've got a start onto this team fight. But now the Venom's been isolated on the back lines. Meanwhile, moving forward is Axe being brought down. He can't quite blink in to try and initiate. Doesn't have the call, doesn't have the blink off of cooldown. Phoenix's egg barely coming off cooldown, but they're going to be able to catch him out. And with the Ghost Scepter, that just means there's more and more damage from the Storm Spirit to finish him off. Phoenix goes down and out. Job 3. Ooh, that's a big zip in from Seven, who's been largely irrelevant this game, or so it seemed. But right now he's trying to make up for lost time as he does initiate in. However, Aeon is there to save the day, as he will be able to get out the shackle for just long enough that Seven can try and TP his way out of this team fight. Meanwhile, Aeon though is not quite done contributing over here. Gets another Hex too as well, following up with the shackle shot. Has got the Ether Shock off and cooldown pretty soon too, so if he can just follow it up, he might be able to get a kill too. Nice blink dagger, but with the Ether Shock being used early on, that means no stun will matter from the Alchemist. Triple kill from Aeon, and this will be potentially even a buyback being needed from the Dire side. They can just get a bit more gold, but no, Alchemist doesn't have buyback. I just noticed. Never mind, this is going to be potentially a set of Raxes by the time that Klinks makes his way back over, and Klinks is a very, very fast little bony person.
I'm over here.
I mean,
during the whole engagement though, when the Beastmaster and Shadow Shaman were going on the Alchemist, Venomancer was up top trying to clear out
in those tracks, as that will be the Alchemist. Oh, he brought back. This is big, but unfortunately, yeah, I just realized about what you're trying to give a bit of a shout out to. It's the top lane of Praxis. We might be needing a bit of a eulogy at this stage.
Over here. Come and
Speaking
get
of
it.
eulogies.
No.
Speaking of eulogies, it will just be, well, they're still fighting up, so Aeon should be going down over here. He's trying to kite them around with his wards, but the kill goes to the Axe regardless. Back lines will be where more action is occurring. Sanity also goes down.
bit of headache coming out from Sanity, it seems. Or the Shadow Shaman actually rushed himself, but he didn't have enough mana to place down another set of wards. And he was just
moving through. That's a long-range stun to catch out 7. The haste rune should not be going his way. It will be picked up by Alchemist, but now they've got the roar out to give him enough time to at least get the kill on the Phoenix. But Phoenix himself with the Ghost Scepter keeps him alive. Now 7 trying to back off, will be unsuccessful in doing so. One more right click will do the job as Alchemist can get the kill and get him out.
Those are 2 consecutive deaths on Storm and loss of lot of Bloodstone charges for him. He was on, I think, 18 or 19 and he's down to 7 now.
Yeah, this is not quite working out how they wanted it to. Let's just put it
Dire's
that
top shrine is under attack.
I think they can just go for a 5-man ditch effort on the mid racks and get their mega creeps up.
Dire's top shrine has fallen.
Instead of going in 1 by 1 and dying and giving the Dire team the catch-up mechanic that they need.
Well, right now it's the Dire team
Right
that is...
now the Alchemist has picked up his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I was about to point out that they have some items coming their way, and actually Venomancer with the E-Blade is not something we talked about, and now it might be coming into play as he...
Tactical pause.
That's not a disconnect, mate. That is not a disconnect. I'm just saying, you just zipped right in. You're in the process of zipping out. This is 7 throwing a bit of a curveball. Oh, it's auto DC. That's fine. That's fine. I believe him. You know how much security they've got at these events, by the way?
Looking at the 4 heroes, I'm pretty sure that he's down.
Looking for me.
Oh, he's out. He's good. He's fine. He's away. They've got mad security at these events, though. Like, from what I heard, they've got 3 or 4 admins standing behind every team. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. But right now, this could be a pretty big kill for them to get. 7 will go down early on in the team fight, so he can't contribute too much. Roar coming through. It's onto the Venomancer, but he has been glimmered up, so he'll be kept alive for long enough that he can get his ultimate off and get 2 players as well. Axe not quite able to finish off the Beastmaster, but he's hoping that the Battle Hunger will be enough to get that kill. However, instead, it seems like the damage is coming through elsewhere, with Aeon still being alive, just throwing out more and more hexes, trying to make sure he can get whatever damage done. But Aeon might be punished for his greed. His refresher orb is still on cooldown, 35 seconds left before that comes out again. Now, regardless, backlines, it's another kill onto the Klink going down, and it will just be now the Beastmaster who came back despite being gifted his knife will be unsuccessful in trying to get away. Storm Spirit 2, mana's a bit low, but his Bloodstone has given him more than enough to be able to just keep
5
on balling.
charges. I feel if you were a Storm Spirit player, actually, like, I'm saying F because you aren't, even though you claim.
I don't claim I'm any kind of player now, okay?
You'd be a bit sad with the 5 charges.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's fine because I don't think that the Storm is really playing conservatively because he's just zipping in, trying to disrupt the Dire team.
Okay, let's be real and call it like this. Storm's been messing around this entire game. They feel a bit too confident, and you know what? This might come back to bite them, because if you check out the net worth graphs, and I know that I'm sure that I can remember what. Yep, that's the F6, by the way, because
F6.
No, F6 is for the graphs.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so
Radiant
big decline. So 12,000 to 5,000 right now. Even 4K at 1 point, but there's still only 2 sets of racks, and one of them is being torn down very quickly. Great Arctic Curse means that they will be able to keep on the stun going. Good Supernova 2, but they should be able to take down the Phoenix regardless. Now comes in the Meteor, and it'll be stunning up the Alchemist. Backlines is where Storm is just trying to keep the Axe distracted for long enough that Aeon can go ham onto the Alchemist. Another Hex comes through. They've got him locked down completely, and not only GG should be called anytime now. Alchemist does have buyback, but how useful will that be? GG! Skull and Portal Esports will be your champions for the Duke Gamers Arena. Lahore Qualifier just completely outclassing everyone over there, as they have guaranteed themselves a spot to go on to play on the weekend of the 7th of December, still in Lahore. They're going to be the hometown favorites. They're going to be fighting up against everyone else. And you know what? If you haven't registered so far, and if you've liked what you've seen, but you're getting this itch to play some good Dota, against the best in Pakistan, if you think you're good enough to beat them, remember, I think registrations are still open for Lahore and Islamabad. I'm not 100% sure, but you should definitely check that out over towards the Mountain Dew PK Facebook page. But in the meanwhile, this is tea time, and this has been a pleasure casting for you with Grimheart. Grimheart, any parting words before we sign out?
2 Shadow Shaman wards with, I feel like, a 6th hero, to be honest. It was a bit unfair for the Dire team.
I think that sums up the series pretty nicely. It was a bit unfair for the Survey Corpses they were trying to find up versus Portal. And now, remember, this isn't the only game that's on the menu. Counter-Strike will be coming up tomorrow about the same time as today, but be sure to tune in a bit earlier just to make sure that you yourself are able to catch the action from start to end. This is Tea Time Grimheart, and we are signing off today. See you tomorrow.